Yeah, haven't changed up their roster too much. The whole roster's been together since the start of the year, so this has been a lot of prep, 10, 11 months counting for ARF team. We'll see how they do develop. It's worth mentioning the fact that you do have Boom ascending into VCT Pacific. Now it's a question mark of who is going to be the next big rep from Indonesia, because you've got obviously a lot of Indonesian players sprinkled in Pacific, as well as a big representation of almost fully Indonesian team, with obviously the addition of our old mate from Kazakhstan repping over in Pacific. So this is a good opportunity for them to hit the ground running and start to improve and try to grab that spot in Ascension next year. For Fancy United, it's a bit of an opposite trajectory as far as I'm concerned. These guys were, kind of the best team in Vietnam, and they have multiple times let qualifiers slip through their fingers to off-season tournaments as well as over towards Ascension, losing out to Rapid Lo-Fi, having some issues with Team Flash. These guys have also tried to rekindle their roster, adding a couple of players into the roster without too much experience. I'm keen to see what we're going to get from some of these guys, in addition to, some staples of this roster like Yes I Can. Twilight and Cruz have been hanging around for a while, but some of the familiar names also leaving the roster like Jin.
Yeah, absolutely. Physio also going. So Foxy and Nia being the two new additions. I think Fancy United, they just want to, stop being second place, right? They are getting all the way to the end of these events and just falling short. So I think this is a huge opportunity again for them to really prove themselves. And why I like this, 3 lots of stages, right? You bring in the new blood, you bring in some existing teams that are trying to find their rosters out and ultimately work out, the next steps for them. And then, some of the powerhouse teams that are looking for another opportunity to, further their careers into 2020. But overall, we've gone for the Omens tonight. So yeah, a little bit of controller play, obviously, which is nice to see. Scar and Cruz. Haven't really seen a whole bunch from either of these guys. Just sort of trickling in through, done a little bit of LCQ and obviously the last couple of Ascensions. So I don't know. It's just, again, that kind of entrant level where they're really trying to crack into the next spot, and ultimately again I think it's a fantastic time for them to do. But the Omen obviously again is a hugely crucial role in the current meta.
Yeah, you need some flexibility in terms of roles, in terms of the controllers as well. But Fancy United, they're one of these teams that you do need to keep your eye on them, because stylistically, a lot of the Vietnamese teams, and Fancy kind of being the team that's pioneered a lot of these kind of off-meta strategies, is a weird team to play against. They love to play weird comps that you haven't seen before. They're playing stuff like Cypher Clove on Icebox. They're playing, all kinds of weird stuff for anyone who's seen them play or played against them. So that's something that ARF team is going to have to be on top of and going to have to be ready for. And that's where you need to have that adaptability against a long range of styles, as well as heading into the new map pool, which we're going to see here in the Vito. Split goes out, Bind goes out. Haven going to be picked up by ARF. I can imagine that's because it seems like Fancy has had some tough games of Haven lately against some of their head-to-head competition in the Vietnamese scene.
It was interesting that they floated Pearl as well. It's going to be banned out now, going for that Abyss pick second, which has been, inconsistently common, right? Obviously, since it's been entered into the pool, some teams really liking it, other teams just completely getting rid of it, and then Sunset, a nice little end there as well. So we start at the very beginning, and then we move on to the new blood if we require it. And I think, Pilsky, you were sort of alluding to the fact that we should probably see, or could probably see, 6 maps tonight.
Yeah, this could be a close series. If anyone's going to 2-0, I'd probably say it would be Fancy, but I think they've showed some inconsistencies lately, and they've definitely, with the addition of a couple of newer players with a little bit less experience, I don't know if they have the same expectation to be that big dog from Vietnam that's playing a lesser team from one of the other regions. I honestly think that this could be a close-ish kind of series. I think that ARF has shown the ability to, at times when they're playing well, play some of the good Indonesian teams quite close, whether that be Alter Ego or whether that be Boom, which means that, they should be good enough to at least give Fancy a little bit of a run for their money, if not try and win this series, because this is a little bit of a different stylistic matchup, and we'll see how they're going to be able to deal with that. Haven, Abyss, Sunset. Already, I think Abyss, you might get some, more different comps, and we might even see the compositions change from the last time a lot of these teams have played, because you've seen roster swaps and a lot of downtime since Challenges Stage 2. Obviously, we've recently had some off-season qualifiers in a lot of regions, which is giving you a little bit of data and a little bit of a look into how some of these teams are playing, at least. But I think a lot of teams are still in flux at the moment and feeling things out, not only with changing up their rosters, but also with the new map pool as well.
Yeah, for sure. And it's the perfect time of the year to do it, right? Obviously, you know, the meta's shifting alongside it, as you mentioned. So roles are kind of being questioned and played with. And, you know, that sort of leads out from when we start to deal with split 1 of 2025. But look, both of us have gone for the Vietnamese side in Fancy. I think ARF, you know, is definitely a very, very closely sort of contested one. Because I was thinking back to, you know, like the last 2 Ascensions, obviously, and even going back to LCQ a couple of years ago, you know, Indonesian teams always seem to kind of make a very deep run here, which means the competition locally is very, very strong. So, you know, despite only being a 3rd place there from Team ARF, you know, maybe there is a bit more of an opportunity. But yeah, Fancy, I don't know. I just feel like they're a strong team in their region. They've always been a familiar face. Remember, you know, being a part of that roster back in LCQ a couple of years ago when they were really, really sort of solid. And I think, yeah, when you mentioned to me, Pilski, about all the crazy different agent compositions that they used to throw out, that was one of the most fun things about learning. But it's a pretty straightforward one here. I mean, there's a little bit of a curveball. I'm going to throw that out there with the Yoru onto Foxy. Nia, big pick up the Neon there. So it's a very kind of boring, stale of agent selection for Haven for ARF team. But Fancy United going for a little bit more of a bend, relying on that Cypher Omen Sova. But yeah, I don't know. There's some big differences in these 2 lineups.
I think it's just a 1 agent difference, right? You got the Breach, which is going to be a little bit more set play, a little bit more standard, like you've seen a lot of teams adopting this agent. And over on the other side, the Yoru, which, you know, is a bit of a pseudo-initiator, can play pretty aggressive, is something that, particularly on this map, might be a little bit underrated with the rotations. You know, it's a 3-site map, so, you know, you can definitely apply pressure in certain parts of the map and then hit that gate crash over towards the other side, or be able to reposition a little bit faster on the defense. And Haven is all about being fluid, so we'll see how things go. Early on here, you are getting a pretty big stack up towards this C site for ARF team, and Fancy is looking like they want to be heading in that direction. So looks like Forced Out going to take that first contact, and we'll see how it goes on the jet.
First contact for the first round of night number 2, stage number 2. And already looking down towards C-Long right there, looking to cross the line, but just getting a little bit of that info nice and early on. Goes for the swing, goes for the shot. Fostow actually will be able to connect with that one. Yes, I can. Does get the trade out. Now Foxy up in towards position. Did manage to use that gate crash to close the gap. And Woody also picking up another one in the position as well. So 3 versus 2. Twilight, yes, I can. Very, very low. And I don't know if they're going to be able to drag this one through, Mitch. This is a rough one.
Yeah, I mean, the setup already made it quite difficult for them. You saw a lot of damage as they line up towards C-Long there. Dark cover being considered there by Scar. Nathan having a little bit of a look in towards the middle of the map. Fancy slowing this one down. Trying to see if they can isolate a pick elsewhere, but with such low HP, they're pretty limited options. They are going to choose the right of those options. So, creeping back towards this A side of the map. It's a completely open site for them. Darts up. Do have a cam and a cage to work with for Twilight. So, there are opportunities here for Fancy, but given the man advantage that ARF has and the fact that they've got full belts of util, you've got the Recon Dart and the Shockies, which could take out either of these players. Left. Fault line, flash, and those smokes. It's going to be a pretty difficult wicket to defend for Fancy if they can get themselves into a nice...
harusnya sih menang ya.
Yeah, and with ARF sort of sitting back, waiting for the plant to go down, 100%ing out the round. It's a really good option for them. So they're going to group up, not worry about that utility for just a second. As now they manage to get just outside a link. They are starting to make a couple of footsteps, dark cover out to give them safe passage. As well, so yes, they can. Has to rely on them going in towards this dark cover here. Twilight also spotted by Nathan. Very nicely done there from ARF team. They will be able to lock out that first round relatively cleanly. It was an interesting duel out towards C-Long, but yeah, whilst there was some opening fights, it just didn't quite go the way of Fancy.
Yeah, lost in the opener really. Too low to try to make that 2-on-3 work, so good start for ARF team. Plant goes down for Fancy though, which is going to give them a little bit more access to some creds here. We'll see how they choose to spend those. You know, round 2 forces, not too common, but a little bit of investment, getting some buckies going for the Neon. Very common choice at the moment. Couple of sheriffs do some economic damage if they can. At least for our team here, a lot of sets of light armor as well, so definitely potential for these one-shot sheriff shots in the head that ranges. Dark cover. It's a long dart does actually scan quite a few players there, so Nathan well aware that there's a little bit of pressure in towards a lobby, but Fancy walking together as a team. Woody in rotation. with a whole belt of util, but
Nice, Nathan.
needs to do what he can to be able to hold this one down. Neon's going to slide past him. Paranoia comes through from the B side. Really nice util here from ARF team just to keep Fancy at arm's length.
One enemy
Really great
remaining.
shots there from Nathan as well. Fostal will be able to find him, and now Woody getting that final frag too. So really, really well played there. Waiting a little bit of extra time to make sure that they can isolate the duels, not overextending into the pistols. And yeah, again, a nice counter eco there from ARF, not really losing out on a whole lot. And now they can go in with a pretty strong bonus against those Vandals and Phantoms. But yeah, crispy shots to open up the bank account.
Getting a lot of kills on the agents you'd want to be seeing them on as well. Quite close to a Hunter's Fury, farming up Rolling Thunder as well. Bonus here for ARF team. Only 2 players with the light armor, so the Outlaw not even going to really be on the right part of the map here, posted up towards top side of big site. It's a bit of a lean towards B and C early on. Trip taken back
There.
towards the top side of C long there. A main control is the name of the game here for Fancy. Nathan pushed off the line once again. Rotation coming in from forced out. Gonna re-clear A long here with the drone. Only spots the Neon. Fancy really controlling what information they show towards ARF team as they head back towards grass. You've got the camera up for Twilight, but here's forced out aggressing on the timing.
Will he be able to split the wickets here? Already having a little bit of a look. They are so posted, but
Spike
Fostal
down
does
A.
find Cruz. A little bit of an awkward line to be dropping down the dark cover there. So unfortunately, both players, despite being up there, do miss the shot. They will trade it eventually. Foxy able to find that shot back, but now it's on to this other side of the map where Twilight's found a little bit of space into window.
Yeah, that's the last dark cover though. No smokes left here for Fancy. They've dropped off the Cypher in towards Garage window. Scar looking to re-clear that, gathering the information. Paranoia goes forward, trying to bait out a couple of shots, but isolates Twilight nicely. The rest of Fancy now trying to get back into the A side, but Nathan just going to be happy to play the numbers and play retake here. ARF still with a lot of utility to get a good retake going, and Fancy just contacting on with 20 seconds left.
Spike planted.
Waiting for that spike to go down. It's going to be still a relatively challenging post plant and retake for ARF. Starting to slowly creep their way back in once more. All members coming from defender side spawn here. Trying to utilize that fake out for the overdrive. After shock. That's, yeah, I don't know. Foxy just kind of sitting there with his pants down. And now, yes, I can. Inside that dark cover, just going to have to wait. Does have the recon bolt available, but yeah, it's just going to be so challenging. Hoping that they'll line up. 1, 2. Will he get the third? He gets him off the defuse, but no, he doesn't. Sticks it for long enough, and yeah, that was just good enough for ARF. I don't know, Fancy. I just don't feel like they played that post plan as the best they could have.
Yeah, getting caught by a fair bit of util there. Good stuff from ARF team. Some pretty questionable moments in this round for Fancy United, has to be said. But yes, I can's always good for a coupler. Not too surprising to see that man multi-fragging in the post plant. He's been a standout on this Fancy United roster for quite a while. And I thought I saw some whisperings that he was headed elsewhere at some point during this off-season. But apparently he's playing for Fancy now, so might not be the case.
It's only been the primary constant for this roster since, you know, as long as I can remember. Since losing the last 2 members from the consistent team, it's just really him left on this Fancy roster.
Go, go, go.
All right. Back on in, Mitch. Looking for another one near. Trying to find that breach shot. Does actually connect with it in the end, but look at Scar picking up 2. Does get traded out, so at the very least, they are going to be able towards the site, but Nia trying to pick up another. Nathan does get the shot back. The relay bolt is going to make it really, really awkward. Nia needs to be careful.
Nice.
He overextends here. Yeah, a little bit dangerous to go facing that Outlaw, but look, ultimately, Fancy, they've found a lot with just these pistols so far. And now, yes, I can. Player we were talking about just a second ago. As the Hunter's Fury for the post plant is going to be able to lock down that spike plant on C.
Darts coming back up in 5. Forced out a little out of position here. Half buy is already a win. If you can get a 1v1 to top it off, that's going to be fantastic. Yes, I can. Clearing out the flank. Not going to commit to the garage wrap. Forced out. No cloud burst to be able to try to get this half. But with the dart coming back up, this is looking like a very comfortable close plant for Yes, I can. Jiggling the line. Half going to come through here for Forced Out, sticking it right off the bat. Yes, I can. He's got a peek any second now. It was a full stick there from the Jet. But yes, I can's going to deal with that nicely. 3-1 for Fancy, and their half-buy gets through and does a huge amount of damage to ARF team's economy. That's really flipped this game on its head now, Mitch.
Such a tough round to play that post plant, right? Mentally, you know, do you rotate all the way around, maybe catch him at C long? But nah, yes, I can. You know, he was in full control and a very bold attempt at the full stick there. So Fancy, they get a run on the board in an unexpected place.
Yeah, it's just going to be the Dimensional Drift straight up into the site. Maybe combo that with the Hunter's Fury. Over towards C here. Gonna have to clear the trips getting on in here. Deep Cam already spots them from Kylie. Hunter's Fury coming out here from Nathan. Trying to clear the middle of the map. Not going to hit anything as all of these players are over towards C. They're getting up into the site nice and cleanly. Out comes the
How
Yoru,
is
but
Kylie alive?
I mean, he's barely alive. But there you go. 4-3 as the plant goes down there for Cruz.
The fact that he even gets one there is crazy, and then traded out as well. So Nia and Foxy, both the duelists, they go down. And now they are going to be able to get into that long position. I think the main thing is that yes, I can obviously save that Hunter's Fury over towards the next round, but he gets taken as Fostow also gets him. Man, you know, they drop one up, but they're straight back in with 4 alive, and that should kind of do a bit of damage to the economy of Fancy. They'll have a buy, but it's not going to be great after that.
No. I mean, they had everything they needed to be able to get that C-side hit going well for themselves. That Dimensional Drift with the Hunter's Fury, which wasn't even popped by Yes I Can. That's kind of like a little toolkit to get yourself a free pick in the earlier parts of the round and kind of force things into a retake situation. But execution a little off, unfortunately, for Fancy United, and ARF team taking full advantage. 4 players surviving in a retake where Dimensional Drift is popped is a very convincing round win on the defense here. They're already out 4-1. They've got a Rolling Thunder as well to play with in this round. And this time, it's going to be Nathan with the Operator of Forced Out. TP goes across from Cruz, Cage forward. It's only a half buy, but there's some punching power with a couple of Hero Vandals in it. Forced Out on the line, traded quite quickly by Nia though, so that's going to be an Operator hitting the deck, and a follow-up from Foxy means that the A site's open for business, but Fancy are not fully aware of that. They're not going to pick up the pace. They're going to slow things down. Big rotations come across the map here from ARF team. They've taken this A space back. Deep Cam on C means that they know that no one's over there, and the trips are at least safeguarding the middle of the map for now.
Not even going to overextend to try and find that Operator either. So Nia just relying on the overdrive that he's still got in hand. But a great shot with the classic there all the way down. They are still keeping an eye on this, so it's a pretty bold rotate, but that real theft is obviously going to give them a whole lot of information. So they try to split out now. That's where their rotation's going to come through. They actually brought the cam back, Mitch, so they're going to try and get in towards position. Now Scar trying to at least stem the bleeding here, get into a little bit of extra control. They are out on the site, trying to drop on in. But it's going to be smart to just wait for the rest of the team on the rotate. They do try to move in, but the fake out, that's going to be destroyed as well. The Rolling Thunder also utilized. Yes, I can. Gets one back. Woody at least able to trade, but there's Nia. That's all left on to Kylie. Great round previously, but it's just going to be too challenging. So there we go. The Nia on a Nia. The second round there for Fancy. Big stuff, big moves.
Yeah, they consistently win these half-buys every single time. With the guns, things are a little bit more difficult, but the half-buy has once again got through here for Fancy, and finally that's done a big enough dent in the economy of ARF team that they're going to have to take a save here. Jet Knives will come out. Bunch of Sheriffs and light armor. You've got the Guardian being considered there by Woody. But money is pretty good here for Fancy, actually. And if they have a clean anti-eco, they're off to the races. Looks like going to be some A control. Woody setting up a bit of a fault line off the bat, trying to keep them out of A lobby and set up Forced Out to take an opening pick here.
Looking, Foxy straight through that dark cover. Doesn't give a damn. And now it really does make it a bit more awkward. This is the danger, I suppose, of a map like Haven, right? Playing on that defensive side. You lose one, you lose two, and you know, you basically just have to concede the site and try to play mostly challenging retakes, especially on that side of A. But look, you're going to give it not too much thought this time around, Mitch, just the Sheriffs. So a couple of members here at least to defend the A site, where it does seem like Fancy are poised to take.
Yeah, I mean, A default has been the name of the game here for Fancy. Trips and Cam are keeping the rest of the map pretty solid here. Fake out going to be placed there by Foxy. Gate crash on forward. They're prepping the execute. Fast lane comes up on in. Woody ready with reactive utility. Going to throw out a fault line there and try to slow things down. But Fancy are still playing
Nice.
decently here until the Sheriffs come out. Nathan going huge from Graffiti. And still Woody with a Vandal picked up and a Paranoia slowing down. Fancy United has a chance to close this 2-on-2. He spikes right in front of him. Not sure if he's even spotted it behind the gun barrel. Certainly has now.
One enemy remaining.
Positioning just completely
Last player
overlooked, and
standing.
that's allowing him to get another Twilight in the 1v1 clutch. Just going to go for that flash. All he has to do is just buy time. Can continue to hold on for it as long as possible. Cam goes up. Now he needs to hold this angle. He has to win this gun battle. He's going to be able to line it up, but Twilight is going to get it. I don't know. I feel like, yeah, Woody played that a little poorly after having such a great position, but the dark cover just gave enough time for Fancy to wrap around, and Twilight clutching it out. Great result. That's the economy, look, almost falling over, I suppose. You know, it was a really, really solid round from ARF in the end with just the pistols, but now it's a gun-on-gun battle. Let's see if Fancy can pick one of these gun rounds up.
It's just one of those one-on-ones that it's a bit of a 50-50. Like with the way that the Peeker's advantage works in Valorant, man. Like,
of course,
have someone swing out on you, you can lose that. Even if you're in a good position, post it up. Cam going deep on C long once again. Going to spot out the majority of Fancy United here. Already a lobby control taken by our team, but the execute's coming in thick and fast here, Mitch.
They really love to utilize this Neon and Yoru. Scar going to be able to at least drop one, but Foxy does get the trade out onto Kylie, which does allow full passage in towards this site. That spike will be planted. Long passive as always. So now the rotation as well. Fostow still a little while away. There will be a recon bolt going in nice and close. Foxy really trying to play this to a position too. They do manage to break the trip. But again, they're all just ready to go. As soon as this drone comes on in, he's going to have to try and fight it. Fostow not quite ready, but he will connect with the shot. Now moving into position. Cruz will be able to take him down. Yes, I can. Also finding another, and Woody gets dropped by Twilight. Nathan, 1 versus 3, just so challenging, waiting for this push. They just could not overwhelm these cheeky buggers sitting inside the dark cover, Mitch. And as that dark gets destroyed, Nathan unfortunately just has to lick his wounds and walk away. That's going to be Fancy picking up another round.
Yep. See, execute went a lot better that time. We have the dimensional drift off the back of Foxy going down there as well, which is going to be fantastic to help them get through the next couple of rounds wherever they want to invest it. And much more successful C hit that time, and that is the pressure that a Neon and a Yoru in combination can create. You can see at the backside of the site there, Kylie trying to hold on with his whole setup, sitting with a dark cover thrown by Scar. None of that matters. You're still getting hit with a flash TP and a relay bolt right in the face, and you've got multiple agents sliding in on you. It's very difficult to defend sometimes if the util's placed correctly. Half buy coming out here for ARF team, which, you know, you can't take for granted. They've already done a lot of damage with some of these half buys, if not made them look very doable. Fancy looks so once. Very close with the Guardian shots there for Forstow on the spam through onto Nia, but punishing Foxy as he peeks his head out. So a man advantage already for ARF team. Fancy now going to pick up the pace towards C-Long. Kylie checking his cam. We'll see these players here up through the middle of the map. Twilight's trying to catch some players on rotation here, and the site's been taken by Nia, but Scar going to punish him on the entry.
Stinger doing that, my word. Twilight does get the trade out onto Kylie though, so there is a level of control once more, and that means he's locked down a very awkward line onto B. Does get some information, looks down mid. So he is quite trapped, but it's just allowing that additional interest to be focused as the rest of the team can slot into this post plant. They can push forward here, Cruz, so he will have a duel in just a second, but Scar going to get taken down. That's a second for Twilight, looking for the third here. We'll be able to pick it up. Very nice round from Twilight. Completely individualistic style, picking up all of it, but it will be the end of being Fostow going down to the hand of the Omen. And Fancy, they take the lead back. It was very much the ARF show, 4-1.
Terribly as well. Fostow doing a lot of damage over here on a lobby, but that's where tearing apart the defense while the rest of Fancy get that C hit kicked off. So great recovery. Dimensional drift now ready to go from the shadows as well. So a lot of cheeky positions that Fancy could find their way into. Cage going through onto long once again. The dart not getting broken. Going to scan 2 players. So Fancy not feeling like they want to commit over towards that A lobby. Instead it's a dimensional drift straight back through on towards the C side. And they're going to try to send it in.
Inside that dark cover, a little bit awkward, but it has given himself a little bit of extra space. Kylie actually managing to find Foxy there, and despite being very, very blind, it's the extra sort of line of that neural theft that gives a little bit more information. But Nia, looking very, very scary, has to pop into the dark cover, needs to swing out though, trying to find the additional shot. Fostow gets it back. Cruz, happy to rotate away though, from the shadows to get that spike planted. Obviously, we already did have that additional control from Twilight. Now Nathan's going to have to wait for the rotate in.
Yeah, Cruz just trying to buy time. Twilight's
Ini
wrapping
cyphernya
all the
emang
way around, so the
sneaky
Omen
picky ya.
needs to
Tadi dia
play time
lurking.
here. Drone going through in towards the site.
Harus
Sees
super sih ARF.
absolutely nothing.
Kalau nggak, mereka
Fault
bakal
line on default.
dibunuh sama si
Forstow's
Cypher.
already made it onto the side. Dart going through onto long, going to reveal the position of Cruz. Nathan already tapping it, keeping it across. He's going to get it to half.
Oh,
Forstow
no.
winning that duel as well. He's
mantap.
on for 3, and Twilight not seen on the site. Not enough pressure created by Cruz there to let
Ini
that flank
dari
come
sana
into
kok nge-lag ya?
fruition, and unfortunately,
Nice.
half team going to pick
5-5 skor
themselves up a
sekarang.
5th and complete another A-site retake.
Great game so far, Mitch. Really enjoying this one right now. It seems like it's very much back and forth. Fancy had a little bit of control back, but yeah, ARF, great response on that retake. Fully aware of the flank too.
Yep. So getting towards the dying hours of this first half. Got a fair few ults in play here for ARF team. One off the Rolling Thunder as well for Woody. Overdrive very close for Fancy.
Go, go, go.
Could be something that they look to in the next round. There's the fault line out, but dashing straight past it, as well as a TP from Cruz. Fancy have made it out A without too many dart scans there from the Sova. They've dodged that quite nicely.
Jadi tahu kalau dari tadi tuh ARF tahu beberapa round mereka lurking satu orang. Mereka membunuh lurking dulu nih sama bridge.
Once again, it's been a great info line for ARF team to be able to rely upon and freely rotate towards the other side of the map. But you can see Twilight. He was looking like he was going to do his due diligence there and go clear that cam, but instead they're looking to re-clear middle with the drone and the dark cover.
Hampir kena so far.
Still not a whole lot of contest. Happy to be sitting in that mid control. But now Woody falling away, so leaving it up for now. This is the thing about Haven, right? You got to go hunting.
Nih,
Find that
lurking.
additional control, and Twilight, who has found some info, he's going to have to walk into that trip. Can't quite go under it. Will destroy it and get out of there. So they've got some info, but at the exact same time, they're taking their way into A. Fostow already there to try and deny the scan. May very well come through. It doesn't quite onto Foxy. But look at how ready they are, Mitch. They're already trying to walk in towards this position, but they give it up for now. They're happy to not fight it. They're just going to wait for that Hunter's
30
Fury.
seconds left.
Is actually going to be popped through. Denies the spike plant again. There's so much chaos inside this round because Fostow, I think he wants to look on through, but Twilight's going to be able to get one back, Mitch. Look at them now, trying to get out, trying to flood on into position. Already crossing onto that line. Cruz just watching so closely. Foxy, Twilight hitting the shots, and there it is. So quick. They didn't even have a chance to think. Already into control after they try to get out, but Fancy are fully locked in. 6-5.
Yeah, much more difficult A-site retake to be completing there for ARF team. Didn't really feel like they had a good crack at it though, to be fair. Like a lot of util there that didn't really feel like it hit the mark. Hunter's Fury didn't get too much done, unfortunately, and Fancy just crushing them as they come out of spawn side, despite finding that opener onto Nia. They had the man advantage, and they still really didn't make it look like it as they tried to attempt that retake. Rolling Thunder's online now, but it's a bit of a weaker buy here for ARF team. Dark cover towards the top side of C, but you've still got the Cam securing that info. Cam over on the A lobby side for Twilight. He might think about a little bit of a lurk into A lobby a little bit later on in the mid round as Fancy start to take grass.
Watching here.
Still sitting back again. Fancy have a fair bit of real estate just inside. But ultimately, the rotations around, still that level of questioning going through for ARF. Trying to work out exactly how they want to approach it. But for now, it's not moving.
It's the same thing. They're just relying on the Cam bottom of C long. That's going to give them that info line, and they're quite happy to stack over towards that A side of the map. This time though, like I said, Twilight's on a little bit of a lurk into sewer here. Try to keep a little bit of A pressure, maybe creep out onto the line.
Sebenarnya tahu kalau Cypher lurking, harusnya kecek.
And he's not really ready for that. But the fact
Dari
that he's
tadi
still
loh,
been
Cypher
able
udah
to
lurking
find
berapa
one
kali.
and create this much pressure as the C execute comes in is huge. Once again,
Kena lagi.
Kylie hit
Oh,
by the
man.
relay bolt and
Oh.
just absolutely destroyed by Nia sliding into the site for
30
free.
seconds left.
Didn't have a chance to do anything there, did he? I mean, look, Nia has overextended, and now that means that the Rolling Thunder can come out. Does get a catch onto 1 and 2 in the back corner of the site, but no
Parah,
Foxy
parah.
actually managing to get out there. So Cruz finds it, and it's all onto Fostow.
Harusnya 5-7
1
sekarang.
versus 4.
Tadi di
Crap
awal-awal-
there. He's going to actually get caught with it. Now he gives
round,
away that
1
full
sampai
side of
5 lah.
information. All
ARF
they need to
tuh
do is
mendominasi.
swing on in, and it's going to be yes, I
Cuman
can,
udah pas
securing out round
pas
number
udah
12,
selanjutnya
7 to
6
5 is
sampai sekarang ke 12 ini udah
very
menurut
nicely
baca
done from Fancy.
cara
It was a
mainnya.
little bit slow of a start, but they lead it out in the half.
Ente lah ente. Menurut kalian gimana guys? Gue sih tetap favoritin ARF ya. Tim Indo soalnya. Masih tim Indo lah. Oke, masuk ke second half.
After a little bit of a resurgence into that half there, Mitch Fancy 7-5 scoreline, and now ARF are going to be on that attacking side, the fade side.
FCY ini gempus nih, dia take control di alum.
Counter grass here for ARF team. Twilight's going to take that out right off the rip. He's left his own cam behind in garage. Meanwhile, Fancy got a lot of info over towards A lobby. Quite happy to send the gate crash back to site for Foxy to go forward and try to contest on this off angle. He's going to have trouble on his hands, so
ARF hit A lagi.
heading back in his direction. There's no drone here for Nathan to be able to re-clear, so it's just going to be try duels, but Nathan all over that one. Very sharp shot, punishing the aggressive peak of Foxy there. And now Fancy a little bit behind the 8 ball. A player down, with 2 players actually still here on this A side to defend, but it's going to have to be pretty huge from both crews and need to lock this one down.
Itu so far sama seperti udah dibantu. Cuma ada info. Tuh udah gak ada, udah di affix. Nice.
In off the back
Nice kill.
of the fault line. Kylie Foster getting those opening picks as well. So
it's
a very, very challenging retake here for Yes I Can and Twilight. But I got to admit, they have been having a pretty good run. It's going to be Twilight rotating back around, joining Yes I Can. They're just going to walk their way through defense side of spawn and see what they can do. But as you mentioned, very, very tough. Great entry into the site from ARF. Now it's just one of those ones where really it's the timer ticking down, isn't it? You know, hoping for a couple of these duels. Realistically, all ARF need to do is just not make any mistakes, and that's great utilization of the paranoia. Last man standing, Yes I Can.
Masa iya dapat?
Get 1,
Nice.
2, hang on.
Hampir aja.
Kylie to close. That was a moment in time, but realistically not that much to defuse the spike. So well done to the end from ARF. They get another pistol. And they close the gap once more.
Yeah, I mean, punishing that Yoru aggression part of me, and then just the perfect execute. Like, there's nothing the Cruz could do on the back of the side there. He's done getting scanned by Sovadar and dashed on by Forced. That was pretty much all she wrote. Good pistol for ARF to try to recover some momentum here. It definitely felt like this game was slipping away from them after
Biasa mereka bisa secure round keduanya after pistol round.
The last
Bisa
7
secure.
or so, they won like 5 or 6 of them. Big stack on the
But
C
it's
side.
still
Juicy here for Fancy United. Page going up, as does the Dart cover. Dart to the backside of the site. They're going to cancel, but not before donating a Twilight, a Vandal. That is quite generous of them.
It's always that thing, isn't it? You know, just that basic rule of Valorant, clear your corners. And only with a Ghost for Woody. Guardian, low HP for Nathan. Full HP almost.
Bisa.
On the side of Fancy. A little bit of damage on the Twilight, but I don't know, man. They're just going to re-aggress, refocus. It's managed to take down Twilight at the very least, but the Vandal was dropped over to Foxy before
Masih risky tapi soalnya si Yoru yang pandal. Tadi kan ambil dari si Dead. Si Faustau. Pandal dia.
And a cage over onto spawn there. Although I think it's been moved around. Fancy do have that Vandal on the flank, but a trip in position gonna signal the fact that there is gonna be a flank coming through. Cruz making his way through Gary window. Fancy setting themselves up a little bit of a net. There should be a bait set up here with the Sova going first, but Foxy wants to be the one to take that opening duel. It's a cam in position that will spot out that flank and the timing of it. Pressure comes in through Gary's side. I think Fancy's just panicking to get in here and try to make this as expensive as possible. Here going down. 2 on the flank here, but Yes I Can. After all of that damage and
mahal banget, bagi ARF mahal banget.
Just hold on to the Vandal here.
Lu cuma bawa Guardian sama Vandal sisanya. Lalu musuh lu dapat Vandal di pas Eco.
Trying to min-max that economy over time as we head through into
mahal banget sih Ronnie.
15th round here.
Good chance for them to really get back into it here, Fancy. Only the 2 Vandals that will be dragged through into this bonus. They're going to invest a little bit more to make it somewhat competitive, ARF, but if they can drag this one forward, I think Fancy might start to throw a few question marks out. It's going to be hard to defend, but they're doing well so far. Very even game.
Big stack towards A here. Twilight just leaving util on towards C and B, Cam and Gary, and it's just going to be a massive fight for A. Our team, though, camp to grass. Looks like they just cleared the top B trip and they're going to try to just pick up the pace straight up on in there. Maybe try to get themselves a quick plant on in Scar. Just sticking that one. Quick retake from Fancy though. They want to just flood straight back into the site, but they haven't cleared Scar with the Bucky inside of the dark cover here, Mitch.
Yeah, not looking at all. He's actually managed to get into a bit more of a preferred position into Link, but Nia well and truly aware of that right now. So all three members sitting in grass, sitting down bottom mid. And Nia's going to look to try and clear all of those angles. Does drop on in, and he's going to be Foxy. But Kylie with 3! Amazing stuff. He's got the 4K. Now he just has to try and stick it, but no, it doesn't quite work out. Oh wait, yes, no, Fancy gets the defuse. There we go. Okay.
Fancy got it off, but the aftershock took out Foxy at the end of things. So ARF team. That's a very good bonus. It's a very, very good bonus. Very winnable though. Kylie absolutely exploding in the server there. He's gotten a little bit sick of getting bullied on the C site for the entirety of defense. He said, I've had enough. I'm going to start punching back. And he was punching pretty bloody hard in that bonus.
Oh man, pain. You would have hoped that it would have gone their way. Especially with that aftershock right at the very, very end. But not quite. Good effort. Fancy holding on. Bit of that aggression out towards A-Long again.
Yeah, they've taken some space over here. Ready for some aggression from Fancy United. You've got to be wary of these Yoru set plays with the flashes peeking out on the timing.
Kecuali kayak
in the meanwhile, Nia's actually walked all the way down C long. There's the paranoia. Trying to create an opportunity to isolate Kylie on the lurk here, but he's going to keep himself safe inside the cage. Just over on the other side of the map. Spam coming through from Yes I Can. 3 players strong on the A side here. See, that's unlucky. Getting spammed on through. There's 2 trips in position. One of them cleared over on alongside Twilight. Can't hear that player running next to him inside the smoke, and unfortunately, get a 2-on-2 now. Side control for ARF team. Plant going down. Hunter's Fury in position, but Nia coming in on the flank here.
Last player
aggressive, Foxy. You know he's sharp. He's able to connect with that shot too. He does indeed, so he can just go and play with his food for a little bit, right? He's got all that information. He's going to throw out a couple of cheeky little blindsides. But in the end, it's Nia. Very well done on that relay bolt. Foxy with a nice 3K. Fancy are going to continue to hold on here. The first gun round does not go the way of ARF team. Fancy edged himself one step closer to a victory on this opening map, but still a fair bit of work to do. They are going to give themselves a bit more space though, as I think ARF team's not going to have a whole lot of cash to invest into this round.
Yeah, overdrive's there for Nia. If he wants to pop that, try to min-max the money. Couple of players here, Kylie and Woody, that were a fair bit richer than the rest of the boys. So this half bar is going to pack a little bit of a punch here. Fair few Vandals on offer. If you find a pick, that Neural Theft could definitely help you get on top of the rotations in the mid-round. Hunter's Fury to potentially close things out as well. Could be a little bit deadly. Fancy because their money hasn't built up too much. They're definitely quite resettled here. Dart's going to be exchanged back and forth. But the big focus of this round for ARF team is definitely grass.
Fancy ini stuck
Only showing the Cypher.
Nice.
You can see Twilight's out of position as a result of that. He thinks it's just the Cypher lurking, and unfortunately was not ready for the jet there.
Gonna pop that Neural Theft now to try and gather something off the back of it, just further sort of extend their position. Double tap on the info, Foxed out, dinked up, great shot from Nia. Been hitting some really, really nice shots on this Neon, now getting re-aggressive. Sitting outside garage. So low, and now with that side control coming in, the spike will make its way in. Scar's positioning is going to be that big one to keep an eye on here right now. If Nia just drop at the wrong time or doesn't find the right position, Yes I Can. Able to find some more. Tagging up as well, so that's Kylie going down, and there we go. No stress at all. Nia does get one. And Foxy to close. So Fancy, they've just been looking much more consistent these last couple of rounds, Mitch. Second, they've got a bit more confidence behind them. Obviously, again, ARF only a bit of a half investment there. It's going to be a full gun round now, which is kind of going to be the crux of this. I think if Fancy take this, maybe they can start to look to close the game, but ARF still in it for another second.
Tack timeout for ARF team here. Half by does a lot of work there, especially off the pick of the back of Forstow. Like I said, giving Twilight a bit of a false sense of security that he's playing that old Cypher battle in the middle of the map, and then there's 2 or 3 people running at him. Gets caught off guard a little bit, but it's a good recovery from Fancy. It cost them a fair bit to get back into that one, though. They had to pop the Hunter's Fury and the Overdrive, so Alt Economies suffered a little bit, but at least they've been able to survive with 3 players up. For ARF team, though, they can get this timeout going. And into the next gun round, need to start to think about how these opening portions of these rounds have been going. It's been a lot of the Cypher for Fancy United in the middle of the map over towards C quite often, but they've been switching up the trips quite a lot. You know, you have had the trips over towards A once, you had the Neon down the bottom of C long, so Fancy have really been changing up the setup quite often, and it's going to be quite hard for ARF team to read that. They have got the Hunter's Fury to work with from the shadows and getting pretty close to a Rolling Thunder as well, and it seems like it's going to be a massive brawl over the A side of the map to kick things off here.
The old left, right, good night about to come on in. All guns, all fury about to be blazing. Very keen to see who gets away with this duel. Recon Ball is going to go in. They are going to try and gather some information, but it's a little bit delayed there, so still nothing really just happening. Gate crash is out to go through, so there we go. It's all happening now. Nice. It's all ARF doing it. Everything in that position, and Twilight's just sitting back, Mitch, going, where the hell's my team gone?
Itu pun number pure gunfight
try and go for a massive 1v4 here, and I just don't know if he's got it in him, so ARF still certainly in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Good little tack timeout for them. They were well aware that Fancy might want to set up some kind of set play like that, and it's something that I already mentioned. It's something you have to keep a little bit of an eye on with this Yoru Neon comp. You know, it can be a second's notice that you just get a Yoru doing exactly that, throwing a flash out, and then you get the Neon sliding in with the relay bolt. It was a set play from Fancy there. You had the paranoia all the way through. In fact, even some pings from Fancy, because you see how quickly that was swatted away from ARF team. You can see pings on the map from Fancy United being like, bro, where'd the Omen blind go? Where did this go? Like, how did we just get wiped with a set play that clean? They were sitting in the exact positions that we were expecting. And look, I did see Cruz get that blind off. There was 1 or 2 players on our team blind, but yeah, it's hard to tell from that, you know, obs perspective when you're watching 1 or 2 players. But for the most part, it felt like a lot of that Fancy util did land, but our team was still able to just defend that set play nicely.
Always challenging, isn't it? Still trying to work out some of the synergized plays.
Working
through those new roster changes, but ultimately does well for ARF, and they were originally like they wanted to commit towards A, but this time they're going to shift it around, and it's only going to be Twilight taking a sort of similar approach to what we saw from ARF, as Kylie on that Cypher doing similar sort of things. But that's information gathered already, Pilski. Look at how much control Fancy are looking to find here. Will it catch? I think it's going to be a toughie. Yeah, there you go. Twilight actually managed to make it work so far. He gets one, but quickly traded out. I've got my eyes on Nia. Is he going to try and fight the fight? No, they're going to leave it and just play the post plan.
He slowed the ground quite substantially, but the Hunter's Fury and Rolling Thunder going to make this retake a bit of a nightmare for Fancy United. Lesser weaponries for them as well. Nia, the first one to take the duel, as you highlighted. There's a little bit of a floor trip he has to avoid as he goes up garage and he gets hit by it. Punished by Kylie. He's going to take out Foxy as well. Cruz can't get anything done. It's a really nice post land for ARF.
Nice call.
They didn't even need any of the ults. Just really nicely played utility from Kylie there. Little bit of a floor trip in Gary. Cage goes up and they just keep them trapped in the choke points before Fancy United can even scale the site.
Yeah, very rough. They're going to be feeling it right now, and that's why they've called this timeout here. Fancy. Good opportunity to have a bit of a conversation and work out what's going on for this crew. Again, it's been a bit of an up and down one. A little bit of an odd game for both these teams. You know, they've kind of had those runs of extensive rounds from time to time, but it hasn't been that fully consistent position where they're seeing some good results back and forth. So pulling the pin now, making sure they don't get that tied scoreline and getting the discussions out the way nice and early before it becomes too late, Mitch.
Yeah, but I mean, they're discussing into an eco, you know, it's going to have to be some kind of, you know, smaller play in the grand scheme of things, and then heading into whatever comes in the next gun round, which is probably what they're really discussing, as well as the tendencies that ARF team is showing them. Really, for ARF team, it's been a fair bit of 5-manning in the last couple of rounds, but earlier on from that, they were definitely working the map a little bit, so we'll see what Fancy do come up with. I think they're going to feel a little bit hard done by, and you did have that 4-man commitment to A, where it felt like the set play was kind of landing, but they just didn't hit any of the kills that they needed to. They tried to re-up that, but ARF team just runs straight into the C site, so feeling like Fancy United is having a tough time getting a good read, and once again, they're going to start off 4A. Cam goes into grass, and ARF team's already just setting themselves up to take the B side early.
straight into position. Foster
Nice,
looking
nice.
to fight that duel as well. He actually does manage to get a massive catch onto Nia. Nicely timed. Again, just the eco, but the utility was perfect. He doesn't want to overextend into Cruz's crosshair either.
Sorry.
Foxy, though, does get one back, so that's going to be a Vandal recovered. Foster will drop Cruz, so they have to push into the further extremities as Fancy are obviously all fully on the flank. They're not aware of that, though, just yet. And I do like Scar's positioning here. They might not be watching all of the lines, though, so if they clear on in, Scar might have a bit of a tough time. He shouldered it out here. Twilight, though, get taken down, so it's looking like it's going to be nice and easy from here. Some good damage with just the paranoia. Doesn't have to fight the duel. Actually goes for the dive on in with the Shrouded Step, but it's Foster with the 3K. 10-10 is the scoreline. And this is lining up to be the game that we were sort of hoping it for, Mitch.
Yeah, I kind of perceived it to be going this way, to be honest, you know. But to be fair, this has been a bit of a up and down map for Fancy United. And I've made a couple of roster changes, but ARF team doing what we expected of them. A pretty decent team from the Indonesian scene. They've been together for quite a while. They are the kind of team that could steal themselves a place in the top 8 here and try to take on some of the big dogs in Southeast Asia. It would be a good storyline for them as far as I'm concerned after the you know, years of hard work they put in since the start of 2024. Been kind of grinding in the shadow of Alter Ego and Boom. A long control taken on early here.
Kata komentatornya, tim Indo tuh potensial.
They have got a pretty nice rotation timing over towards this A side.
Potensial
They
banget
can have a better time holding it. Nia's got that deep sea long info line. So Fancy feeling quite comfortable with their stack here. Have got Cruz ready with the reactive paranoia there. And in comes the
trap.
They're making their way in now. Hostile clearing all the different lines. Does run out of the blades though. Does get one drop there by Twilight. Trade out accordingly. But that should afford enough time for that spike to get planted. Yes, I can. Is going to drop down the shock bomb. That actually does prevent the plant here. So they are buying plenty of time for this rotation to come on around. Now that spike finally getting planted. I think they're actually going to go really, really quick off the back of this retake. Now Nia, even with that operator already looking so close, trying to sort of connect on that line. Another dark cover. Does give themselves a little bit of extra space, but now it's that fast lane. Relay bolt goes in. That damage from ARF team. An 11th round here as they take the lead back to alive. Didn't even have to burn the Rolling Thunder. Very nicely done from the Indonesian side. And they are stepping themselves closer to this victory because look at the money, Mitch, for Fancy.
Yeah, they've reset them again. Haven't been burning any of these ults. I feel like they've been sitting on the Hunter's Fury of the Rolling Thunder for like 4 or 5 rounds right now. Because they've just been closing out rounds with the good old-fashioned basics. Just a really sick crossfire up across Graffiti and Hellside, not letting Fancy United get out of spawn. And ARF team, once again, it seems like it's just the same patterns. A hit comes in. They go and they speed up towards B. It's just working every single time. Straight into grass. A lobby taken by Fancy. And once again, trying to set themselves up for a little bit of a flood onto this B site, perhaps.
Lots of information gathered. Foxy's position is strong, but yeah, I think so. They're not going to take advantage of this at all. They're just going to switch out.
Changing things up. Working their way back into towards a lobby. A little bit of a lighter crossfire. They were ready for Foxy there, just burning the Hunter's Fury to be able to clear him out of that close position. Yes, I can. He's been the standout for Fancy United for the longest time here on the line with the Guardian. Gets a couple and gives them a chance into this round with the half-buy. Dimensional drip popped by Foxy here. He's going to pick up the Guardian. There's already 3 players here to defend Mitch.
Absolute chance to get it in, and with that fake out going through, will it blind them? Yes, it will, kind of. It's enough. Twilight also locking them in. It's going to have to just be ARF brute forcing their way through this round, Mitch. They're going to walk on up. Mira's up so close. Foxy on that line, but he's taken down. And it's Foster straight through the dark cover, not giving a damn about it. It's going to be all eyes on Nia. The second that dark cover does fade, surely they're aware of it. Now they're looking to get that spike planted. Nia has managed to slot into the cubby just on the other side of the sewers, but they've taken backside as a result of it, completely isolating all of this space, and now they cross the line. And now Nia left all alone here, has to just hope for a lucky shot, a lucky duel, and he does hit one, but one point of being somehow still alive. Oh my god! That is one of the most incredible clutch plays I've ever seen, Mitch! What just happened?
With the Sheriff, Mitch! Jesus Christ! Alright, I'm not questioning the pickup anymore. Put him on the roster, mate.
I'm up and about.
Real clutch from Nia in that 1-on-3 set up by Yes I Can, who did so much damage in lobby there. And ARF team, they were doing everything right, weren't they? They were just working that 3-on-4 perfectly. You know, they were doing things by the numbers. Nice little smoke up into sight, playing together in hell. They even found out where Nia was with the From the Shadows, but none of that bloody matters when you get some individual brilliance and you can't counter-strap brilliance.
I'm lost for words, mate. That is a moment that you don't see. Many years of commentating this game, and they are taking all advantage of it right now. Completely decimating, riding on that high, highly 1v5.
Itu mental pasti drop.
And they have utilized all of that momentum to completely turn the tides. Vietnam will strike, and Fancy are 1 point away from taking this map. After need to do it all right now. They've got the money, but do they have the mentality?
The set play finally hits in that last round. Fancy's been force stacking A this whole bloody game for such a long time, bro. And it finally works out for them. The Hunter's Fury pulled an ARF team getting crumbled in A lobby.
This goes here.
Like you said, last chance after a really good day at the office here from ARF team. Op's going to come out for both teams. Force now a little bit quicker on the draw though. Foxy hitting the deck. And now ARF team going to slow things down. Cam inside A lobby. Foster going to take this next duel up on towards the top side of B.
Just going to slow it right down here. Fancy. They're still in the driver's seat. They're still on that defender's side. Cruz has found Woody. Maybe a moment in time where they can somehow bring this back.
Onto C long.
Oh man.
There's the duel theft.
Yeah.
That's going to reveal exactly what ARF's intentions are. Here's the dash on through from Force down. Neo doesn't hit this. Neo doesn't hit the shot. Being forced out of the site, and Fancy once again are going to have to rely on that retake. Gate crash cleared. Nia does have the overdrive, so can try to slide back in to try to complete this retake here.
Neural Theft is the only real advantage that they have ARF here. And Nia's going to get moving very quickly, but it's happening, Mitch, right now, Scar. He's going to have to make something work. Cruz trying to hit the shot, but now it's all onto Yes I Can, and boy can he. 1 versus 3.
I know
does get the damage dealt, but he's actually rotating all the way around. He's going to try and bait out this Neural Theft. But obviously, again, he's going to pop twice, and he is going to try and capitalize on that shift, but it's not really going to work out. He's just burned a whole lot of time. He's going to have to run straight into the crosshair, and Kylie's going to rip his head right off. It is map number 1, series number 1 of the evening, and we have an overtime on our hands.
Game pertama udah overtime, bayangin lah, seru banget. Seru.
Definitely deserving of an overtime. This has been a fantastic game for Haven. ARF really putting Fancy United through their paces right now. Everyone performing in the server. Fancy back on the attack. And a bit of a 2-1-2 for ARF team. You got that trip placed up towards the front side of B. A little bit of a kill trip on the front side of C there.
Iya kan, gua sampai sekarang masih anjir lah. Sayang banget.
Be committed to holding that C flank.
Itu kalau menang match point tadi, bisa menang.
Fancy once again grouped up to try to hit A. You've got the breach with the supportive utility from A-Link here. Cage on towards long. Just a classic A lobby take here.
Yang penting mereka bisa move on. Mereka mental gak drop loh, bener. Mereka masih bisa nge-fight. Itu masih bagus lah.
That's going to allow the rotations to come back across. See how Scar and Kylie are holding C.
Holding back of the site. So many tags up on that utility. Somehow Scar still alive, obviously getting the information now, the fake out. Nia straight on in there. Cruz does get the shot back. So it's an advantage heavily for Fancy. They've done well on this attacking side, but not clearing out the side. It is going to be Woody getting away with here out Foxy as well. He will be able to fight it. Yes, I can equalize 2-on-2, but Fox out. Gets it back. All left on that. Taken down. Unfortunately, not living up to his years in his namestate. As it's going to be ARF team taking that back. They lost that 1v3. They lost that really aggressive round into the 23rd. But they will still continue if they are going to get this team across the line, kicking and screaming. Fox down, Woody are going to drag them there.
I mean, Fancy's kicking themselves, unfortunately, after that round. They had a double entry onto C, Mitch. They've been folding this C site every single time. Scar and Kylie could not hold yet again, but that 3-on-5 retake looks a little too easy. It's been a couple of times that Nia's been overextending a little bit. Some of these Fancy United players have been punished, and that's a perfect example of it. That should have been a 5-on-3 with an open plant on that C site, getting closed every single day of the week, and now ARF team smelling blood in the water. Pack timeout going to be coming out. They want to close this game of Haven. And similar to the Overdogs yesterday, I would say less so because they've been grinding for quite a while here, Mitch. But once again, one of the lesser seeds from one of these regions taking on, you know, a perceivably stronger team, given some roster changes and really taking it to them. And this is the exciting thing about Challengers Southeast Asia. You might be the number 3, the number 4 seed from a certain region, but even taking on some of these teams from other regions, once you start to throw away those mental barriers of taking on the best in your region and throw away the stylistic familiarity that these teams have with each other inside their own home country regions, that's where you get to really see, like, honestly, some of these lower seed teams in various regions are pretty decent when you put them up against the whole field.
That's the opportunity of events like this, right? You know, it's not focused on that absolute tier 1. Focused on some of those teams that didn't quite get the opportunity in Ascension, didn't quite get the opportunity to go up to Pacific. They want to duke it out and fight hard. As ARF now setting their sights up towards B mid.
Yeah, lobby's been taken. Trip being cleared, forced out. Just picking that one. Doesn't want to reveal that there's an op-out. There's an op-out for the defense as well. Nia on this deep line. Grass being contested.
Nice.
Cam being taken out.
There
Twilight
it is.
Punished by forced out for a second time. A big pick into Garage. Drops all the trips across the map.
So much control can be gathered from that. Gate crash through. Getting away. Space is on B. They're not going to overextend it. They're just still waiting. Obviously, Nia holding that very aggressive line. Now as they can check in towards A-Link, they know it's clear. It's all going to be that aggressive pick and just how quickly want to take it, Mitch. They're going to slot it down. It's going to be a bit of time before they go for this retake.
Yeah, yes, I can. Wanting to go and re-clear A-Link with Nia. That's going to take a lot of time on the clock. You've already got Kylie, who's ready to flank through Garage later on into the round. Forced out from the line. Forced out by the Paranoia. But all of ARF team set up inside of the site. Punished by and Nia. They're starting to make inroads back into the site. Now another trade in the favor of Fancy United. It's just down to Kylie. He didn't end up wrapping through Garage, but going only 1-for-1 is not good enough. Yes, I can. With another critical multi-frag to keep Fancy United in the game.
Oh, man. We knew it was going to be a good game, but not this close. It's had so many moments. And this constant game of tug of war, right? You know, no one can really get a solid foot. No one can really find themselves in a space where they are able to throw some consistent rounds together. And that is one of the dangers that is the Valorant overtime, right? It's the best of 2. You've got to be able to connect 2 together on those swapped sides. And yeah, right now, it was the defense that was strong. And both teams get another crack at this.
Once again, a contest from Fancy.
Revealing area.
Dart comes out from Nathan. Not going to scan Cruz, who's once again TP'd across. That will have been heard by Forstow, who's on the rifle this time. Second time he's been able to isolate a pick on Foxy. Double peak being organized here from Fancy United. Going to force the dash, but job's done for Forstow. Man advantage for ARF team. The man's won a lot of opening duels in this game.
Really has, hasn't he? It's been that top fragger for the team on this Jet. Nia obviously putting in pretty good results on the Neon too, but has been the duelists so important in creating that space. And I think now, Pilski, it's looking like it could be a little bit of a line-up or maybe a fake. No, they are going straight in towards this here. Nia already trying to get that control, but Woody's going to decimate him. Woody. That spike drop, he should have that information.
Oh, look at Twilight. In the pole position to make this one work. Cardi didn't have his gun out. There's no trade. This is doable now. Yes, I can could just leave the site but will he get caught in transition by Forstow aggressing on Sewer?
I love this from Forstow taking advantage of the space he was given. Here's the footsteps and now dropping the spike again. But Twilight continues to be a thorn in the side, Pilski. He has to try and get away here, but I think he just wants to fight the fight. Forstow takes advantage of his skill set, of his aim as the duelist, and a 14th round goes the way of ARF. Forstow continuing to put the team into the backpack. 30 kills now for this Jet.
Another map point here for ARF team. They've got to make it work, almost letting it slip through their fingers. Twilight has done such a good job just forcing things through the middle of the map and bailing out Fancy United multiple times. But again, it's the same issues plaguing them that put them so far behind in that round. The spacing is all over the place. Nia's dying for free deep into the site, and there's no trade potential. Fight over A lobby again. Dark goes up over the top. The spam through from Scar. Nia's hit the deck again. Here's the set play. Fancy United, but they're already ahead of the curve. The gate crash gets punished instantly, and ARF team is all over it.
Putting it on a silver platter for them, really, isn't it? You know, Fancy. It's going to be all eyes on Yes I Can. He tries to aggress off the back of that. Aldrone gets 1 and 2. Twilight once more, but it is going to be all onto Yes I Can. 1 versus 3 clutch. An opportunity, Pilski, to try and do it for his team. 6 bullets, a dream, no HP, and he gets the spot. He gets the light. Can he calm down? No, it doesn't quite occur, and Kylie can test his medal and can drag the team through alongside him. Not happening. He tries to say yes I can, but this time no I cannot.
Such a good game of Haven that we just got to witness there, and that is fantastic for our team. The boys have been grinding inside the challengers scene for the last little bit. Since the start of 2024 is where I see these players coming through from, at least on Liquipedia, although, you know, it could be earlier than that. And Fancy United, fortunately, having a couple of issues tonight. Just made a couple of these roster changes, and some of the new guys coming into the roster, definitely a little bit rough around the edges. I felt like Nia, he was quite hit or miss. He was either making some massive plays or kind of overcooking things and getting punished. Similar to what we saw from Decoy from 1-2-3 yesterday. You know, it is the double-edged sword of playing the Neon. It's like, you know, you can go absolutely huge and catch people on the timings, or you can feed a little bit, and unfortunately in some of these critical rounds, I really felt like Forstow was the much more consistent duelist on the Jet.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know, man. There was just moments of brilliance for each. Like Nia, there's not many moments like that you're going to ever be able to see, right? You know, such an opportunity. Valorant is a game that is built for these individual performances, and overall, I think we just had an absolute heater of a game, right? You know, Yes I Can almost managing to bring it through, but look at that. What a stat to witness there. 17 opening kills for ARF, because that does shock me a little bit, you know, the amount of times we saw Nia and Foxy take the space for Fancy, but in the end it was the Indonesian side that managed to bring the team through, and again, that's attributable to the strength of the Indonesian region, right? You know, they've obviously got a lot of skill in there. It's a very, very passionate region. We got to see that inside Jakarta. Obviously, we get to see that on the Stage 2 split finals that are always on LAN and things along those lines. It just puts the pressure on these teams to perform, and yeah, I don't know, we got to see some brilliance there. So unfortunate there for Fancy, but it's not done just yet. There is still more time. Abyss is around the corner, Mitch, but again, you know, we spoke about it in the green room. Of course, it was going to be a long night, a big night, potentially a 6-mapper, and to start off with overtime. But looking at those stats, man, Forstow 10 opening kills on this Jet. That's crazy.
Bro, 10 out of 17, by the way. So
yeah.
As far as the rest of the teams
a duelist actually going in first, man. What's happening?
Yeah, and in multiple different kind of contexts. It's not just like hard entry into the site. He had the op out some of the time. He was going aggressive on the defense and getting on those deep info lines. He was getting those contact plays and picking the rotations. He was really the MVP for a reason. Very well-rounded game on the Jet, doing absolutely everything that you'd want your Jet to do on Haven. And a big reason as to why ARF team have taken that first map dub over Fancy United today. So look, we'll see. It's Fancy's pick up next of Abyss. It's not like it's not a map that ARF team have played before. So look, I'm keen to see what we're going to get from them. And look, I think Fancy are going to be a little bit sad they've let that one slip through their fingers. But at the same time, it's not like it's the first time they've dropped a game of Haven in the last little bit. So I'm sure they're going to be feeling a little bit more confident about the rest of the map pool in this series.
Yeah, for sure. And look, Abyss, you know, obviously, whilst it has been around for a little while and then, you know, getting developed, it is still the newest map in the pool, right? So it's going to take a little bit of time to have everyone work it out, but we'll find out what surprises they've got for us in just a little minute. We're going to go to a quick break. We'll see you back soon.
Yeah, I'ma take it to the top. Yeah.
Menit Tegel, menit.
I'ma take it to the top. Yeah. Ha. And I ain't never gonna stop. Smashing all the ops. Haters wanna top. I go hard till they drop. I'ma take it to the top. Yeah. I'ma take it to the top. I'ma take it to the top. I'ma keep climbing, I'ma keep rising, I'ma go high, so high, get the rising. Striking like lightning, you cannot fight me. Better tread light, look at me, look at my team. Wheel around high king, fight like a Viking. Keep the whole plate with the cake and the icing. Deciding to high, see powerful, mighty. Opponents don't like me, not even slightly. Hit 'em like boom, 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 boom. Thunder like boom, 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 boom. Hammer like boom, 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 boom. Double like boom, 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 boom. Let's go. Stop pushing through the line like it. Get the crown, break it through the walls. Fire. Stop pushing through the line like an animal. Never will I ever settle down till I have it all. Pedal to the
He's on the top.
metal,
True.
break it through the walls. Higher, reaching higher, rising up. I'ma take it to the top. Yeah. Woo. I'ma take it to the top. Yeah. Woo. Ha. I'ma take it to the top.
Gue pengen download yang ini loh. Si yang hijau, SOK, CS.
Yeah, I got the spirit, I got the drive, I got the crew and they all ready to die. Ready for war, ready to grind. I am the storm, I was born in the fire. We're bringing the heat, the smoke on the rise. I'ma be shaking and breaking the line. Heart of a legend, built for the climb. Believe it tonight, I'll be taking what's mine. There ain't no competition when I'm on the loose. Got 'em in a bad position, now they want a truce. All of my haters trail behind me now, caboose. Sinking my teeth in like a hungry wolf. I don't quit it till I win it all. I'll be manning after I finish, y'all. Heavy on me, don't miss it, no. I keep rising up and I never stall. I'll bleed forward, I'll sweat forward, I'll cry forward, I'll die forward. I live forward, I'm built forward, I'll fight forward, I climb towards it. Yeah, yeah, we're my competition. Hey, ain't no competition. Yeah, yeah, said we're my competition. Nah, hey, this ain't no competition. Yeah, yeah, we're my competition. Nah, hey, ain't no competition. Yeah, nah, said we're my competition. Yeah, yeah, this ain't no competition. Woo. Ain't no competition. There ain't no competition. Ain't no competition. There ain't no competition. Dominate, dominate, dominate. Yeah. Dominate, dominate, dominate. Yeah. Dominate, dominate, dominate. Yeah.
Oh, di mana bang?
Dominate, dominate.
Nonton di ini bang, SOOP. Lu cari aja SOOP. Bentar, gue coba ketik ya. Bentar ya. Di SOOP.
Now, Pilski, you sit back, you sit down in your chair for a broadcast, right? You go through the shop, you go through the stuff or the tournament explainer. You don't always expect a game like that is what the most exciting thing about this online Valorant League is, right? You know, it's always some ups, some downs, but that was a straight up heater, and we were pretty privileged to see what we just saw on the screen just there. So ARF narrowly edging out Fancy in overtime of map number 1, and with more around the corner, and as you mentioned, some challenges maybe for ARF and limited experience on maps like Abyss. Maybe there's a change in the tides we could be seeing in the way of Fancy.
Boleh lah, seru sih
They played
harusnya.
it a couple of times. They took on Boom on it, which you know, we've seen Boom play a little bit of Abyss over there in Ascension Pacific. Yeah, I'm keen to see what we're going to get from both of these teams on Abyss. It's been a little while, and I think Fancy United would have definitely felt like they could have taken that game of Haven. There was a couple of moments where they could have definitely put it across the line, and I think now that they're moving on to Abyss and Sunset, like I said before, I think Haven has been a bit of a shakier map for them. They've lost it to Flash and Rapid Lo-Fi a bunch of times after playing in the Vietnamese league, so I can't say it's too surprising that they were going to drop that map, and there's a reason why ARF team's gone ahead and pick it into this series. As far as Abyss goes, look, it's a map that Fancy has also lost to Rapid Lo-Fi and Flash in pretty close fashion the last couple of times that they've played it, so look, we'll see what we're going to get from them. They obviously feel confident enough to pick it into this series. They did recently play it in one of the qualifiers for the off-season events up against, who was it they finally did take on in that final? I think it was, yeah, Flash again, that they lost the Predator League SWAT to, so that's a little bit unfortunate. We're playing a little bit of a funkier comp, mixing in the Harbor, so we'll see if they stick to that. And
yeah, there it is. Yep.
Harbor's being
ARF ada si Yoru,
team.
Sova, Astra, Clove, double smoker ya?
No, they're going to run the same comp that they also ran in the recent qualifiers.
Sebelah Fancy main Harbor, double smoker juga.
No Neon is one of the big sort of keys here, still leaning onto
Fancy
that
harusnya
jet. Nia
mereka main
obviously
cepet ya.
watched what Fostow was doing. Fostow going to sit back
Mereka
on
gak
the
ada
globe,
ini,
which,
gak
as we
ada,
know, is a
gak ada sentinel.
kind of in its
Jadi
own
mereka
right, so the double
harusnya,
controller can really put down some damage on a map like
mereka
this.
itu
So
fokus
it's
cari
gonna be
poin
that
di
map
attacker.
number 2, Pilski, Fancy with a lot to prove
Hey,
here.
GG.
Hoping to potentially make this a 2-0.
Harusnya mereka cari poin. Fancy cari poin di attacker.
Of VCT challenges SEA. It's split number 3, stage number 2, map number 2. Let's lock in.
Yeah, ARF team starting things off on the defense here. A fair bit of a stronghold being constructed on this B site. You've got a Star, a Cam, and a little bit of a trip there on the front side of site. As for Fancy United, does seem like might be a little bit of Soviet util towards a main here early on. Perhaps a little bit of mid control on the cards as well. The Harbor definitely changes up how you can take this map control with the high tides coming off cooldown and the cascades, things like that. There's a dark cover to the backside of mid and a cascade to be able to actually make their way up the catwalk here. See Nathan spamming away. He's actually over on the Yoru instead of the Sova that he was playing on Haven there. So a little bit of role flexibility on some of these players of ARF team. Spotting a couple players crossing back to B here. The gate crash is there for Nathan in towards Heaven as well. So there's 3 players ready to hold this B site here for ARF team if the execute comes in for Fancy.
The map is just so damn big, right? You know, so much space to try and pick up. A lot of eggs in the basket to be here. And that is where they're going to be ending up, right? So a minute left on the clock. Kylie is going to get that catch on the cam in just a second. But no, they're actually going to pop the high tide, walk on in, try and collect that positioning right now. But waiting. Fragment goes in, does force him to move. Yes, I can, Nia opening up, but Woody's going to be there to at least trade out as well. Scar does get forced back. Woody getting some further damage, though, done as Yes, I Can. 3K for him. All unfortunately left on just Fostow to try and clutch this one out, Pilski. Spike not yet down, though, so maybe, just maybe along this line. No, it's Yes, I Can on the Harbor. The big man with the big gun. 4K for him on the pistol.
Yeah, getting himself already pretty close to a reckoning. If he gets a little bit of an anti-eco frag on here, then that could be a great reckoning timing. Honestly, I'd be throwing the man a weapon and saying, get in there, son, get yourself a couple of orbs, get yourself a couple anti-eco kills, and we can take the Reckoning into the bonus and actually give it a crack. Fancy, though, are playing that, you know, mostly pretty stable meta comp that you expect with the Harbor mixed in. You know, you are going to get the double in it. The knife and the dart, such a fantastic map control tool, as is the Harbor util, to be fair. Cascade and High Tide, really, really difficult to play against sometimes. On the off angle. Yes, I can. One closer to his Reckoning
Enemy
now.
mark.
2 off. If he gets one more orb or a kill and dies in this round, then he's going to have the Reckoning heading into round number 3.
Whole bunch of info as well on Fostow. Go in and fight this one. I don't think there's going to be a lot that he can do. That's A site completely opened up for free here as well. Nobody home to defend. Nobody home to take the post. And as the rotation comes in from Woody, he does get into position. And Fancy don't seem to be overly keen on taking this one either. So they're just going to waltz out, happy with what they've found, and just leave it for now.
Yeah, another orb for Yes I Can. Gonna be very happy with that. If he dies, gets a kill, gets a plant, then we're chilling into round 3 for Fancy United. It's gonna be a pretty dangerous looking bonus round. Couple sheriffs here for ARF team. Few light armored players, and Yes I Can quite low here. So you do have a couple of the boys here that are right for the pickings if you want to do some damage with the sheriff.
30
Can goes
seconds
deep
left.
onto B-Long. Spots out the push coming in, but it's still going to be very difficult to hold this for ARF team. Paranoid coming through on the right side, spotting out Scar on top of the books. He's taken one with him though, Image.
Really nicely done. Dropping Cruz. And the L wanting to try and push through. They're going to 100% this round though. Scar actually does get away with a second. I'll give a
10
little minute
seconds
to
left.
Woody. 10 seconds. They have to try and get this spike planted.
Spike
The
planted. One
orb
Please,
is going to
please.
help them out.
Nge-throw,
for
please,
just
nge-throw,
some
nge-throw.
time. But Woody, that's already 2 of this 1v3
Aduh,
so far. Pilski,
kepalanya.
but yes, I can. Oh man. What do you even do there?
Ente.
The
Udah
code
nasi kok.
protects him just long enough
Nasi
to
kok
find
banget
it,
tuh.
and this man has been hitting every single shot right now, so
Right there.
it was a good effort. It's going to make the bonus pretty shoddy, but
Right
Fancy
there.
United, well done on that second round.
Yeah, they had a fair few pistols anyway, so I don't really feel like it was going to be a super strong bonus, but it is going to be a little bit more expensive than they would have wanted. They're still going to invest 3 rifles here with the Reckoning and some pistols, so Fancy United giving this one a bit of a crack. Once again, fair bit of util invested towards this B side of the map. Get that Clove smoke deep on towards middle. In fact, smoke's being exchanged both sides, and once again, the Cascade going to give full mid control and deny info to ARF team. Knife does spot out Nathan, and it's actually going to prevent him from using his gate crash. He was trying to go for a pick and then TP out. He's not going to be allowed to do that. Just getting further
Ush, double satu dong.
denied information by the Cascades, but he's picked Yes I Can straight through it. No Reckoning in this bonus round for Fancy United, and they've got a man disadvantage now.
Yeah, one of those weapons dropped has to be recovered at some point in time if they can get it out of his cold dead hands, but the positioning obviously a little bit challenging. Good positioning for ARF to be in. You've got to be happy with that one, and for now they're just sort of sitting, waiting, not wanting to overextend at all.
Just continually cycling these controller util in the middle, trying to deny that information. Nia creeping up behind that trip. Punished by Nathan, who's on for 2 in this round.
Another
Doing
Vandal
a
gone.
really good job dealing with this mid-aggression. Up on top of the catwalk is Twilight. Next
Duh.
up to take a duel with Nathan.
Keculik
and this time
lagi,
it's
guys.
Someone on
30
Fancy
seconds
United is
left.
going to hit their shots.
Last
Highly
player
punishing
standing.
Foxy, though. This is just a
Spike
very
down, B.
disjointed round from Fancy.
I
Never
don't know,
really got
Amy.
what they were looking for. Cruz finally hitting a shot for Fancy United as well. Trying to get up onto the site here. Scar going to
Nice.
stun and punish Cruz.
Harus menang malah
Way
kalau
onto
di
the
Byron.
site. ARF team
Ini kalau kalah mah gawat.
winning that first gun round with 3 up.
Great use of the Nova Pulse on the audio cue to get that stun and the round secured. Really good result in the end there from Team ARF. I'm happy with that counterplay. You know, obviously a little bit of extra investment, as you mentioned. They've still got plenty of money to go fully in with the Vandals, but yeah, a good response.
Yeah, I think it should just be some kind of set play for Fancy. Dart up over the top. Maybe drone around the side, Reckoning onto this A side. Like, I'm just waiting for it. They've been doing this slow mid-control time and time again for the majority of these rounds. Would love to see something a little different. Woody holding the shock. There's once again the Dark Cover and the Cascade denying that mid-info. In comes the High Tide.
I suggest
Going
you
forward.
move.
There's the Reckoning. Finally, they're going for this A set play, Mitch.
All happening now. 3 members here to try and deny as best as they possibly can. Tossed out at that tap through.
Nice threat.
High Tide giving him enough space, but in the end, he will be able to connect with it. Not before Nia does take down
Itu
Nine.
Harbornya gak necek loh.
Just waiting patiently. Woody gonna get the spot. Actually drops the
Kali-
spike
kali-
as well.
tak- aduh,
Now
kali
Woody
tak
drops
sadarin.
another. It's gonna have to be on to Twilight to see what he can do. Still Woody,
Timing.
this pesky member up inside Heaven. Yes, I can. Does manage to slip the gap. And they're both heading around defender side and
Itu
spawn
Harbor
here.
gak denger si
Scar will
Harbor.
be joining in tow.
Ya sih kan gak denger ya.
Finding that
Si Yudi
reposition.
nembak
Will
tadi.
they overlook Twilight here? I can't actually tell. He might have been.
He's DC.
Yeah, that's what I
Ih,
was
Sofa
gonna
kenapa
say.
ya?
Looks like he has completely.
Hah?
He's going to destroy him. Now it's on to Yes, I
Kan
can.
tidak gak Sofa kenapa?
Oh, he's going to fade now.
Nice.
Great response. That's a little unfortunate. I feel bad for the side of Fancy there, but nonetheless, you know, these things do
So
happen
far,
in
like
our
it.
team. They're going to be able to pick up that second round.
Yeah, it looked like some kind of game crash maybe, or PC crash. I don't know if he's got the webcam or the phone. Or the
Gak mungkin
camera,
rollback dong.
but yeah, unfortunate for Twilight. Very winnable 2-on-2 for Fancy United, and they put a lot into that round. That was a very
Enggak,
nice
aman tuh.
A play,
Aman.
like I said, high tide across the front side of the site.
Technical
Mid
pause
side
ya?
of the
Oh,
site, rather.
pantesan.
You had the Reckoning as well, just to be able to push the defense back, and then that second layer is what I was very impressed by. You had the KO
Pantesan di
flash
sofa
through
diam.
the high tide to try to set up Nia, who
Di
was just
pojokan.
sitting top site in wait, you know, waiting for the rest of the boys to scale in the site, and then they wanted to dive onto backside with that KO flash, but they just never found the right timing for it. Still ended up in a winnable 2-on-2, but that's when, unfortunately, you had the DC come in. So Fancy going to take a tech pause, give Twilight a chance to get back in the server and organize himself, and gonna have to go back to the drawing board here. ARF team once again in a good position on defense, staring down the barrel of an anti-eco. Money's not built up for them just yet, so they want a clean anti-eco here. But for Fancy United, look, there's a fair bit of money there. You're definitely going to get some sheriff invests. You're probably going to get the knives popped by Nia. So look, it's not going to be a foregone conclusion that this is a clean, easy round for ARF team to be picking up.
Definitely not. But it's time that they can use to ponder as we just wait to get Twilight back into the server. Everyone's been completely parked at this point in time. But I don't know. It's been a pretty entertaining one so far, just overall. Like this series, both these teams feel like, you know, a lot to prove. Especially, obviously, Fancy that has, you know, had their kind of time in the high rise. You know, got over to some of those bigger events, I guess you would say. Vietnam obviously has some strength inside the server.
Thank you for the like.
But, you know,
Thank you.
limited sort of opportunity, I guess, here and there, and not able to kind of show what they need. Whereas on the side of the Indonesian region, you know, they've obviously had so many big things happening as of late. And, yeah, the competition just so strong. So they line up very, very well. And that's what we're kind of hoping for an event like this, right? C Stage 3 for the year. It's been a great little competition to have after a bit of some time in lieu for a competition of this nature, right? But yeah, even for the non-premier teams and the top teams that are sort of looking for this good fight,
Ayolah RF, 2-0,
gives the middling
2-0.
pack a really good opportunity to shine too. So
Absolutely. ARF team, the perfect example of that. So, as mentioned, it's going to be the sheriff's out for Fancy United.
Out of my way.
Knives popped by Nia. Dark cover and Cascade to take mid control. Nathan once again taking point in middle here with the Outlaw. That's a cheeky little collateral for him. That's going to
Nice.
secure himself the dimensional drift going forward here.
Dapat 2 sekaligus.
Fancy. Not really much they can do in that situation. Drone reveals that Nia's up middle, so they know where the jet knives are as well. Things just going bad to worse.
the Outlaw's just so damaging, right? Such a good
Nice.
weapon to be playing in that counter eco. There's the blade taken down. So just the two alive, Cruz, Twilight, back in the server now, of course. Destroy the trip.
Kalian tahu kenapa dia
See a
pressure
little
dah?
bit more
Kenapa dia
to
gak
try and
nembak?
find a bit of a gap here. Woody's found the timing.
One enemy
Yeah.
Through door, we'll be able to find it.
Kalian tahu gak?
The last
Coba kalian
member.
komen. Kalian tahu gak?
Bottom of mid here. It's going to go up on the stairwell. It's just a second. Will he hit the shot? No. Woody. Flawless 3K. And a third round for ARF. Fancy. It's going to be that gun round where they can really try to get back into this and not try to allow ARF to run away with this map.
Yeah, Woody's on a bit of a heater, man. 9 and 3 for him. A lot of big ults here for ARF team. I think Dimensional Drift with the Hunter's Fury online going to be very difficult for Fancy United. Like so many post-plant tools here. Cosmic as well, really, really good for the retakes on the defense. Once again, mid-control going to be the name of the game here for Fancy United. They left the bomb in spawn though. Got to go back and pick that up.
Coming
across middle.
Control mid.
Going to once again deny that vision to Nathan, who's going to dodge the dart early on. Get the Outlaw into this round, and once again, that's the Knight revealing his position and denying his ability to gate crash. Yes, I can snuck into the vents. Drone's cleared out middle. Isn't going to spot Yes, I can up here in towards Heaven's side. And now Fancy United prepping themselves for this A split.
Take flight. A whole lot of control gathered here, right? You know, surely they're not going to be aware of that linchpin. I mean, Woody is keeping a firm eye on it. He actually pinged that position as well. The paranoia is not going to quite catch. Does tag him up, but Woody still sitting in that dark cover. Doesn't quite get it. So Yes, I can. The denial of service.
Hello Glenn. Thank you.
Some extra time. The blind side to try and make his way through, but he doesn't want to try fight this just yet. It's the fake out.
ARF dong.
Still another cascade as well to break that extra time. Kylie trying to push in. But Yes, I can. Continues this.
Aduh, tapi sekarang kalah anjir tahun ini.
I mean, it is a bit over investment there when it's just Nathan, but there was a couple more alive at the point in time, and he did drop that one in. So Fancy a third
Apa kabar Glenn?
round.
Apa kabar? Udah lama gak dengar kabar lu.
Hero to you know, put the team in the bucket. 11-3 for the man so far, topping the server.
Yeah, he had a fantastic game. I think 300 ACS performance on the Sova over there on Haven. And that round is just Fancy United conditioning ARF team over and over again with that mid-control, breaking the door, dark cover and cascade, high tides, just denying information, knife to follow up to limit Nathan's ability to go for a pick. And finally, that's where they use all of that conditioning. Yes, I can into vents. This time ARF team, though, they don't want to let them have this mid-control. Nathan's going to fly forward in combination with Woody, who's backing him up.
Lu sekarang udah gak YouTube lagi. Gue liat lu terakhir upload tuh baru-baru ini kan. Sebelum-sebelumnya kemana?
It's an easy first pick for Fancy United. Aggression from Forcell, looking to find those opening kills that he was getting in that previous game on Haven, but he's not on the jet anymore. Not going to have that same ability to get out of dodge. He's going to really try to play up close to his one-way. Ult active. Spams Nia straight through the box. That's a fantastic opener for him, and he's able to keep himself alive and drop the smoke as well. Woody with the reactive Hunter's Fury isn't going to hit anything, and meanwhile, Fancy United trying to make their way back towards B, but look at all this util. Multiple stars, multiple players swinging out and stopping them before they can even get into the site, Mitch. There wasn't even an execute. ARF team just shuts it down.
Jarang-jarang lagi mager.
That single ruse from Fostow has done so much, allowing ARF team to just completely lock down this B site position.
Padahal rame loh yang untuk
30
kayak gituan.
seconds, Foxy, Twilight trying to make their way in.
Tapi ya sih, capek sih buat klipnya. Ya kasih.
Woody, who's been so consistent, hits another shot. Scar's been the same.
Lu kan pernah story tuh, bikinnya banyak-banyak tuh. Gue liat juga pusing. Tapi mantap sih lu bisa kayak gitu.
Some really good moments. And if Yes I Can isn't the hero, Fancy haven't really had an answer so far. Look at this. I mean, you know, just again, the fact that he had enough time to drop that ruse and then go for that peak so confidently despite being in a 1v4, just solid play.
Yeah, I'd agree. It's been a hard carry performance tonight from Yes I Can, but it hasn't been enough. ARF team have been a little bit more consistent, a little bit more contribution across the board. Fancy going to change things up here, though. They've got the KO ult online, ready to kick off this B site here. Once again, it's Scar as well. Sofa with some Cypher util to hold. Cypher's on the other side of the map, so the trips are going to stay active here despite the KO ult coming in. Knife comes in, scans Woody. The scan coming through from the drone isn't good enough to get that kill. Nathan and Scar holding on for now, though.
Nia still alive. That's been the biggest thing here, right? Now he can jump up on towards the top of the site. Has to try and get onto this line. Doesn't quite connect with anything just yet. Just going to utilize that cascade, the high tide. Nia wanting to try and get in. They've completely overlooked him into that dimensional drift there now. And Nia does hit one, but he's traded.
Udah, harusnya dapat.
1 versus 3. Information already
Nice.
Dimensional drift is good. And Nathan can just get straight up in his grill with that shorty. And another round goes the way of ARF. 3 alive, 5 rounds. Consistency is key.
Yeah, very heads up play to throw that Cypher trip down on the front side of B and just play on the opposite side of the map, trying to play around that
2-0 ya, ingat. Harus
Wasn't
2-0.
even Pop, to be fair, but if he was playing backside, would have definitely got hit by the knife. Fancy United evaluating their options here. Can't afford to go for the force. Gonna have to, once again, go back down to the half buy. But ARF team, very consistent. After losing that pistol, man, 5-1 from the last 6. They are really starting to run
Ini
away
kalau
with this right now.
kalau RF jadi attacker ya, feeling gue sih enak aja ya.
Doing the right thing,
Cuma nggak bisa main cepat sih harusnya.
aware of the game, aware of their rotations, happy to sort of
Cuman
lock down
takutnya
that B site
si
with the
fans
Cypher
ini pasti
utility,
nge-push.
even
Kalau
leaving
sebagai
mid open a
defender,
little bit
mereka
more
ada
now
2
this round
inisiator.
too.
Mereka kalau nahan satu pasti susah banget.
I've actually cooked the veto. Fancy picked Haven, and ARF has picked Abyss. So
Yeah.
this is actually ARF team's pick.
Watching here.
Yep.
Dude, I was saying on the desk, like, this is... I thought this was Fancy's pick.
Look-
or did I say it the opposite way? I don't know, bro. I'm absolutely cooked.
You said this was it, and I've just like been so used to you having the big brain that I'm like, I'm just not going to question it. The man knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Yeah, it's... Either way, ARF team looking solid on it. After picking up Haven, they're going to be brimming with confidence, because at least from what I can see from the veto, that was definitely Fancy's pick. Which is interesting that they picked that into this series, given how their domestic results have gone.
Nice
But
one, nice one.
anyway,
Masih ada drone sih
4
tapi,
and 5
enggak
here.
drone.
Fancy's found the first pick. Gonna kick off this A execute. Cloudburst gonna deny
Aduh.
vision here to the operator. Push
Oh.
back
30
is
seconds
Knight, and he's
left.
gonna have to play retake with force down. He's not interested in playing retake.
Gapa,
He's
gapa.
gonna dive straight through. Yeah, he pulls the
Oh,
ult
gawat itu.
straight into multiple players. I'm surprised he's even alive, honestly.
Nice, nice. Gak apa, dapat satu.
And the
One enemy
little heal
remaining.
doesn't quite connect, but it's enough to just keep the team interested, right? Cruz has to try and
Oh,
bail out of here.
gak
Has
dapet
to
deh.
try and pop the
Missed it.
ultimate. No, it got denied. It got denied. The shot was quick enough. And yeah, you know, you're right. You're right. Of course, it missed the spike, but maybe just a little bit of panic. Not enough time. Oh man, Cruz
Nice, nice.
hurting.
Yeah,
Penting banget round ini.
he missed it.
Hampir kalah.
Unfortunate.
The panic.
Mereka tadi tuh
That
kurang
was a crazy round.
clearing backside-nya.
Fancy United gonna take a timeout.
Di backside-nya tadi bener-bener
Having a rough time
belum
on the
dikontrol.
attacking side of Abyss
Gagal
here.
tadi.
But they're finally
Sudah
getting
senjata
the
juga
guns
sih,
back
wajar.
together right now, Mitch. Close to another reckoning. No commands online. It's a big ult to actually be able to kick off a bit of an execute here. Great to see both of these teams as well on the boot camp. For most of the boys on our team as well as Fancy United, have seen even some of the unside teams play together on boot camp, playing in the same space. Something that is always fantastic about the Asia region.
So often getting to see it. You know, most teams also putting on the full kit for their games as well. Taking these matches very, very seriously. And as you should be, right? You know, that's the whole thing. If you're going to be competing at the top, if you're going to be playing with the best in the world, or, you know, you've got aspirations to get there, you may as well show up to the server every single time with the same level of confidence, with the same level of seriousness. And, yeah, just drive yourself forward, because that's how the best become the best. But money, it's good both sides. Not really a spot to shake it. ARF is just far ahead of the curve now, though.
Yeah, they've won so many rounds. They've had the opportunity to build up this economy. Once again, it looks like it's going to be this A play. Trips are over there. Cypher's literally in spawn. So the trips are going to be active despite the KO ult coming in. Information denial in middle is being attempted here by Yes I Can. Nathan on the offline. If he gets hit by the KO ult, he's not going to be able to TP out.
Aware ya mereka sama
It's gonna
OP-nya.
come through.
Portal closed.
Force Dow's on the line as well. Drone
Come on.
hit by the operator. Out comes Nia
Oh, habis
as well
TP-nya.
as that knife.
TP habis sih.
Unfortunately, Nathan doesn't get too much done. Paranoia's hitting Force Down as well. Out comes the Golden Man. This has been a very
Woody.
nice play from Fancy United.
I was going to say, didn't even have the gate crash out, so couldn't get away. Woody does manage to at least find one, but with that null command pulsing,
Spike
Standing
planted.
ahead.
dark cover down, will look to fade in a second.
Shock dart.
Recon Bolt doesn't quite get any information. The Shock Bolt doesn't quite go the
Sayang banget,
distance
bro.
either. So it's going to be this retake here. They will buy a little bit of extra time. Our drone goes out, gets some information as to where this KO is. And he's not exactly in a position to try and
Nice.
defend either. And that's Kylie. Got to be
Aduh,
able to
pantul
find
lagi.
Woody going down to the side
Ente,
of the
ente,
cage,
ente.
not going where he wanted it to. That's going to be Twilight picking up his 3K. And finally, Pilski around back on the board for Fancy. Is it going to be too late? Probably not. A couple more rounds left in this half.
Yeah, they've yeah, like you said. And this could be a reset round for them, right? Like, if they win this round, they break ARF team's economy, and then we're looking at a 6-6. Very doable. Knives are coming out for Nia. Quite close to the Reckoning and the Hunter's Fury. Scar's still sitting on that Cosmic, waiting for the right opportunity to use that in the retake. But Fancy United are not playing this post-plant lineup comp that a lot of teams like to run on this map. So less usefulness to be able to get that Cosmic off on defense. Nathan, different approach here. Door gets broken. High Tide's over on the water, but it's only being teamed up here by Fancy United. Spam coming through, almost taking him out right off the rip. He's forced to gate crash out and forfeit control of middle.
No control now fostered in this position. It's been relatively common, but Woody has been doing at least a pretty good job trying to fight around his door position. He actually might find some good timing.
That's
Here. He
Woody,
does
that's
get the
Woody.
shot onto Nia. Doesn't have to overextend now. Gets the bolt off and falls away. Recon, no information gathered. Now they can just settle down with this advantage.
Yeah, Fancy still not organizing themselves enough. Clove Smoke denying Twilight the ability to go on through. Force Towers up on top site, or rather back site. Just posted on that position. Fancy now grouped up towards A main. Gonna try to get on in here. ARF team pretty spread around the map. Force Towers just trying to play for a pick, a little bit of information and get out. Metal being considered. Out comes the Dart as well as the Cascade. And he's gonna stick around for more, Mitch.
Oh, wouldn't he? He's been hit some serious shots, and there's the Metal. He's going to be able to get the overheal off the back of it as well. That spike does get planted, but how early are they going to walk on up? Yes, I Can hits the shot again. Bruce also able to find one with the response, but now it's just onto Yes, I Can and Bruce in the 3-on-2.
Extra guy.
Position is found.
Heaven.
Keeps being consistent. This pesky
Nice.
old Sova has been doing it all for
Wah,
our team.
mantap banget nih.
And another round will be secured. There's 7, and they are looking for more. And 8-4 would be such a satisfying position. Picking into this map, taking the Haven, knowing that Fancy hasn't got a solid win rate there. They've really sort of thought about this veto. It's all been working out for them here, Mitch. I'm really enjoying what I'm seeing from the Indonesian side.
For sure. Avoiding getting reset by Fancy United there as well is pretty massive. Going to allow them to bring a gun round into round number 12 here. With a couple of big ults to boot. Reckoning was used over on that A side of the map last time. Fancy looks like they want to bring it to Pete. And once again, it's going to be Scar and Kylie with a pretty big setup. Gate Crash is in position there for Nathan to try to help out the boys too.
Not there.
Patience. Just keeping that position locked. Now as they pop the ult,
Nice shot,
try to
Scar.
get that further information. Reckoning going absolutely nuclear here, but it's not really doing a whole lot with that
Nggak
tag
dapat
up.
dong.
No information gathered further. Nathan drops one back, but again, they just flashed up, blinded completely. It's the
Nice try,
damage
nice try.
from Woody again. Pilski, this man has been looking so good, and with an 8-4 half here, half team, they're
Woody,
looking
mantap ya,
solid
Woody.
and trying
Tuh.
to close this one out in
Udah
front.
16 kill. 16 kill.
We're back, Pilski,
Okay,
8-4.
half,
It's the
second half.
Half team looking to try and close
ARF
out this
8,
evening.
versi 4.
2-0.
Ya.
And after, you know, our sort of predictions went on the eye of Fancy, you know, maybe
Tetap
some question
tawan.
marks are being put against this roster that it currently sits at. But for now, it's mid-control, mid-aggression.
Yeah.
They are up so early, and that's a great flash in. Kylie, unable to do anything.
Yeah, you had that high tide coming on in and just created a little bit of a pocket for Nia to sneak up. Dark cover to the backside. Flash on through. Double controller with a perfectly timed flash to set Nia up for success. He's trying to stay alive now, and yes, I can try to bail him out, but Forced Out punishes.
This guy's been looking good. And I really don't see it slowing down.
Kayak Astra dapat sih. Scare.
Picks up the ghost, walks on in, knows exactly where Nia is. It's a great flash, but Scar's actually got this flank, so they're going to really start to aggress and collapse on in. It's going to be an all-out bloodbath. Fostow gets another second frag, but taken down by Cruz. Now Scar completely overlooked. They don't have this information. He does miss the shot, but he will connect.
Winnable,
Now
winnable.
onto that line. He has to try and isolate this position. Low is Foxy. Can drop the star, can go for that plant, can go for
Nice.
the pickup, but he gets the additional shot. Now picks up the spike, 25 points of HP, and he can look to
30
actually take the
seconds
duel. I
left.
was going to say he might want to hightail it out of there, but the bruises continue to be popped.
Yep, 3 stars. Ready here for Scar.
20
Dart's
seconds.
coming off cooldown in 10 seconds here for Twilight, and he's put himself
Kedengaran
in
itu
a
ya?
perfect position.
Ya.
Should be able to catch Scar on the cross here. I'm not even sure he has time to go into Astral Form
10
here and
seconds
place
left.
any stars down. He's going to try to put one down on
And
the
then-
cross, but he can't even make it into the Nebula. Pistol win for Fancy with a beautiful set play across middle there. Loved what I saw.
Itu
Just
mid mantap
great
banget
catwalk
si versi
from
ngetek
Nia.
mid ya.
KO flash through the high tide and dark cover on the backside to prevent a trade.
Attacker spawn.
Always love a little bit of aggression, especially on a map like this, right? You know, it's such a large map. Still only the 2 sites, but some proactivity on that defender-sided round can reap some rewards, as we just saw right now. But also, there is a cheeky little pause coming through. We'll get some information as to what that is in just a second. Technical pause. But, yeah, I don't know. Good little change up. Because, yeah, Fancy, I feel like, couldn't really find their feet in that previous half, Mitch. You know, the defensive side maybe is going to bring some benefits for them. Just on the offense, you know, once ARF got rolling on that defense, it was just so hard to break through.
Yeah, bro, Woody, he's fucking throwing hands today.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, legit, like, came straight out of Toy Story and just is absolutely destroying everyone right now. Pretty flexible in terms of his roles, plays a fair bit of a nit. Playing some breach, things like that. We saw that over there on Haven. Killjoy's there as well. But here on Abyss, man, looking very at home on the Sova. Gonna have to have some more work to do, though. As he's had a great game so far, but this game's gonna start to get a little bit tighter with Fancy winning that defensive side of pistol. And now they're gonna go into the anti-eco here. There's a couple of sheriffs invested from ARF team. Now, once again, this high tide and the KO knife with the smoke towards the backside seems to be the go-to for Fancy. And it's working out once again.
Mereka kalah di mid
Arthur
terus
trying
sih.
to force his way through that controller utility, and he's punished for it straight away.
Just letting it slip. Guess I can. Got to be careful that he doesn't overextend here, but he's going to connect with the shot, obviously. When you got the
Spike
team there
down
with
mid.
you, it's no real stress
Player
at
standing.
all. And Kylie, whilst he will hit one, second
Wih,
is an
Kylie dapat dua dong.
opportunity. Got to be careful again. You know, this is where Yes I Can could kind of give up a bit too
Gue
much.
dia flashback sama si Golden Blue
Super
deh.
keen to continue to fight this fight. Does actually get scanned as well. A little bit unfortunate there, so he's just going to drop away. It's really just about doing as much damage as you possibly can here, Kylie. Pulling away in a moment like this is always challenging. Gonna
Ante.
pop up the high tide, so it's the round done. Well done from Fancy.
Apa
3
enam?
alive. Bonus is going to be reasonable. Guardians all around. And they are slowly, but surely stepping their way back into this map.
Yeah, Sheriff's going to be dropped as well. Courtesy of being picked up by our team. But yeah, Kylie's some great damage. Couple of kills going his way. Getting himself close to a neural theft, which in some of these early gun rounds can be a really good timing to take advantage of. Looks like name of the game for ARF team
Right here.
is going to be this B control. Do have Cruz and Twilight over here. Mid control going to be taken by Fancy right off the rip. There is the consume from Scar. Gate crash coming in. Drone comes through. Paranoia in response from Cruz, but given absolutely nothing by ARF team.
Fight as best as he can. Kylie getting one back. Cruz only able to afford himself with the one.
Balik gak sih?
Twilight
Balik gak
gets
sih?
a response though.
Balik gak sih?
To the 3-on-3, they can kind of cool the Jets for just
Balik
a
gak
second.
sih?
I'm liking this position as
Mereka
well.
tahu secure di
from
situ.
Foxy. All the way up on the line, has to be careful. Yes, I can, does connect, but there's
Oh,
Scar
nice,
too.
nice, nice.
And Woody's going to spot him out as well. Why am I even questioning Woody at this point in time, you know? He's not going to... Of course he's going to clear out Foxy, right? So, 9th round for ARF. Again, only the bonus, so you're not going to think too much into it. It's all going to come down eyes onto this gun round here, Bilski, to see if ARF can take 10 or if Fancy want to give us a second serious map.
And this is what Fancy does all the time. They have these little early routines that they do on a lot of different maps. This time you see the same util into mid, the dark cover, the high tide, and the KO knife, and they mix in different plays around that. That time, tried to stick Nia down middle to try to go for the B flank and kind of crunch with those B players, and they gave it a crack, but didn't quite work out. Now, a lot of players invested in towards middle here from Fancy. Once again, yes, I can. Gonna walk all the way down middle with that dart and have this early flank over towards B. You can see Kylie trying to come up the road. Might be a pretty decent timing for his cruise in the meanwhile.
Coba.
He's found forced out. He's trying to play
Empat.
towards the back of the side, but Nathan's
Kita
found
udah
his
babe
way
nih.
behind him, and he's gonna clear out B.
Great bit of positioning there, rotating all the way through. Now
Ini penting harus main aman, jangan nge-throw.
Even further. Fake
Sige.
out, not going to be popped. It does look to fake, but
Mesti
Nia
dicek.
shoots around the head
Masih
completely.
ketahuan.
Nice shot to respond. Now back into this 3-on-3. There's a chance for Fancy
3 lawan
here.
3.
No charges left.
Masih winnable nih bagi Fancy.
And Woody has been popping the hell off.
Satu
today.
ketahuan.
Half team playing
Dia nggak tahu
very
si ini,
paced
si Woody.
with Woody just trying to play these off angles. He can't
Masih
take
dapat udah
face
flash.
full of that flash, but still able to spam away and take 2
Man.
with him. He should have even got 1 in that position. Twilight now trying to pick up the pieces, caught in between a rock and a hard place, takes out Woody, but there's so much time picked off the spike. He goes on the aggressive, picks up Scar, but he's not ready for Kylie here.
Uh-oh.
Who, even though he's whiffing his shots towards heaven, it's just too long gone.
Gila ya Woody.
Half team gonna win
Woody emang
round
tajam banget sih aimnya.
up to double digits for them. And Woody once again getting away with bloody murder, mate. 20 bomb, I think, for him in 16 rounds now.
Lihat Woody.
What a game
Decide.
on Sober he's having.
Just a gamer in general. That's all I really have to say about it, right? He's been hitting his shots. He's just been
Harusnya mah
consistent.
dia
He's doing
ada
exactly
bunuh di
what
satu
you
kan.
need Yosova
Dia masih bisa
to
dapat
do,
2.
utility-wise and responsibility-wise.
Keren Woody.
19 to 10. Overtaking Yes I Can now as well, Pilski.
Cosmic's still there for
Fancy
Scar.
mana ini?
So he used
Di ini
to
bang,
some
SOP bang.
dirty fakes
Coach
on
aja coba.
this. Yeah, we'll cycle in the stars as
Coba
well.
cari aja bang SOP. Lu buka nih sop.com. Justru cari ketik Valorant. Pasti ada nanti. Valorant eSport nggak salah. Nice.
Cruz can't hold on in the back to the side either. ARF team are folding Fancy United. Yes, I can gets his reckoning online, but
Ini kalau
this is
kita
a
menang
pretty
sih,
difficult post
mantap
plan
sih.
to navigate now for the
Tapi kalau
defense.
menang udah gak ada duit.
Do you take the
Si Fancy.
gamble, you know, the money isn't great, obviously. It's a real opportunity here. They can maybe try and find this 4v3 and get something done with it to, you know, bring some life back into this game, but they lose this. Knifing up so close, running out. Yes, I can.
Gak apa sih, Harbor lo.
Finding it 3-on-3 now. Maybe it is worth popping this reckoning, but they're gonna not use it. They're not gonna hold on to it. Hunter's Fury also available, but Twilight just wants to try and get onto the spike. Fragment goes in, Twilight goes around, and somehow,
Iya.
without either of those
Itulah. Nonton sini aja. Soal ya bener, kata lu bener, ribet. Gue juga ribet sebenarnya. Cuman karena gue live ya udah sekalian. Soalnya biasa kan kalau Valorant tuh kan officialnya kan kalau nggak YouTube, Twitch. Sekarang di SOP gak tau kenapa. Sini aja nontonnya.
Great paced util to help facilitate that clean retake that Fancy were able to make happen. A 3-on-4, completely out of position, open plan for ARF team. And Fancy United make it look pretty routine to make it back in there. It's not that easy at all, but they made it look so.
16 assists for Foxy Pilski. That's what you want from your KO. Up close now.
I mean, it's the same thing again. The amount of first deaths that this man has conceded so far in this series is pretty
Tahu Vandal sih.
Hunter's Fury coming out here for Twilight. Foxy still applying the press, but punished by Force Tower. He's going to use the pick-me-up, but unfortunately gets caught by that shock from Twilight.
Alter Ego kapan lagi mainnya?
He would have been way too far away to be able to run all the way down the map. Would have had a bit of a marathon
Alter
on his
Ego,
hands.
bentar bang.
Half team.
Kalau salah,
Their options.
bentar, gue cek ya.
Look, Woody's alive. Woody's got space on A.
I was about to say
So
the
it's
exact same
doable.
thing. Woody not dead yet. Okay, never mind. We disregard. We've set him up for failure there.
Yeah, he is my goat, but unfortunately.
Minggu depan bang, minggu depan. Tanggal 7, tanggal 7.
Some people prefer Buzz Lightyear
Di turnamen
or,
ini ya,
you
turnamen
know,
ini tanggal 7 mainnya.
Mr. Potato Head.
Di stage ketiga, soalnya stage 2 itu yang tim-tim yang kayak gini.
I was thinking,
Alter Ego masuk ke stage stage 3. Ini masih stage 2.
Toy Story 3 that's like the
Tanggal 7,
dictator
tanggal
of
7
the
mainnya.
kindergarten.
7 November.
It was
Toy
cool.
Story 3?
Yeah.
Who's even seen that?
Oh, come on, man.
We're only here for the classics.
You're younger than me, dude. Let's not go there.
A lot of ults online in this round, Mitch. Dimensional Drift there for Nathan, and the Hunter's Fury got the knock dead yet. Forced out. Same mid routine for Fancy United. They've got the Reckoning. They're pushing straight up the guts yet again. Dash down from Nia, trying to use that Sova Dart to be able to get a scan. That's definitely been heard by Nathan. ARF team well aware that they've lost.
Aneh banget Fancy mainnya. Mereka mainnya mid terus. Tapi bagus sih mereka mid control.
Big rotations coming in for Fancy United. They might
Kita terlalu risky kan?
Reckoning, and Nia still ready for Nathan in middle. Great patience is going to find the first kill this time.
Yeah, finally getting that opening pick, right? He's been losing it time and time again, so a big booster of confidence now. Kylie knows exactly where he is.
Ada.
To cross.
Kalau di
So Nia has all of that
di
control now.
stage,
It's going to kind of
Mbak ini
force
bicara
them
stage
into
berapa
this
dulu?
B-lane.
Kalau stage 2 itu
They're gonna be able to
sisa
connect with it. They've got a lot of utility, a lot of space
The
to go with.
Overdogs, timnya Alvin,
Like I said,
timnya
though,
Alvin
the
Susanto,
Reckoning and the,
sama
KO
ARF.
is going to make this a impossible retake to stop.
Sisa 2 itu.
Comes the KO already.
Kalau di stage 2.
All of ARF team set up inside of the side. They're going to go on the front foot.
Look at
Kylie
Kylie,
looking
yeah.
for a duel, but that's just the
Cuma
KO
kalau stage 3
drop.
ya masih ada
That's
Alter Ego.
unfortunately not
Masih ada
gonna be
3 tim.
a kill that they can deal with, that they can potentially punish
Kylie.
as the Reckoning comes out. He's been
Jadi masih ada 3 tim Indo lah sekarang. Cuma Alter Ego kan stage
Not
3
quite
tuh.
making it.
Itu nanti
Looking for it, but Fosdale still going and Woody's still
Nasudi.
there as well. Nia able to get something on this flank. He
Ayo,
needs to step up.
please
He
menang,
needs to make it work as a duelist that hasn't really been sort of stepping up. Newest addition to the team. He gets close, tries to connect onto Woody, hits the shot. Only one more needed. Pilski and Fosdale.
Nice.
30 points of HP. Tries
Anjir.
to clear, but
Dikit lagi,
Fosdale
Bro.
is going to be the
Dikit
superior
lagi.
this time. You can't play my jet. I took it strong last map. And Fosdale to close with the 3K there. That is beautiful stuff from ARF team. 11 rounds secured. Now Nia, despite finding so much, Kylie just being able to take that early investment, go into Link, get the opening drop onto the KO. Just keeping
itu
them
si apa?
entertained for long
Si Udi
enough
tadi
there,
harusnya dia lihat kan. Dia kan pegang recon tuh. Dia lihat ada musuh di atas. Jadi dia refleks
Yeah, I
ditembak.
mean, you got to do something special
No
when
charges.
you're dealing with a
Itu
Reckoning
menang.
KO on the retake to be able to get
Right here.
back and stop
Tapi masih
some
sama-sama
of the
full
team
buy
from
sih.
getting
Jadi ya
back in.
masih ada chance menang sih Fancy.
It's going to be quite tough.
Same again
I mean,
from
for
Nia
the-
as well.
50th time this man's pushed down middle, but
Masa
that's
gak ketahuan sih
the game
mereka
plan for
push mid
Fancy
terus?
United. Just applying that pressure. Backed up by a lot of players. ARF team looking to go head to head with them in this round though. Quite heavily contesting middle themselves. Nia gonna
Here.
bide his time. Play inside of the vents. There's another follow-up dart cover. Carly can see everything in middle. There's the dart. He's going to be denied by the cloudburst. I'm not sure if that would have been seen. Oh, he's seen the hat.
Nice.
It's a
Kylie,
nice
Kylie.
looking
Top.
hat, but
man.
unfortunately, Nia's not going to get a chance to wear it because his head's been banged clean off. Up comes
Yeah.
the neural theft as well.
Hit Bella
Now
ini dah.
half team can read the positioning of the defense and they're just going to go straight into a B hit.
How do they defend here? Cruz is going to have to try and run out the dimensional drift from Nice
Oh,
on the box. But yes,
wow,
they
wow.
can. I was just about to mention it. He hasn't been having the greatest side. Hasn't been really doing a whole lot here. But the 3K and the 4K. The big man is looking for more, looking to try and respond here. Kylie has to
Entahlah.
hold on. But it's going to be Twilight to take it.
Aduh.
Fancy will get another round.
Sayang
Literally
banget.
the second I was about to mention it, Mitch, that Yes I Can had fallen completely off on his defensive side. He shows up to the party and he brought snacks
Alter Ego
and
diganti
beers.
sama.
All the
Bentar,
boys
bentar, gue
love
lupa
Yes
lagi.
I Can.
Ada kemarin, gue nonton.
And
Asli gue
really,
PTR.
it feels like every time Fancy United's about to lose, this man goes absolutely nuclear, and that's another perfect example of it. Just running in through Heaven's side and just hitting every shot with the Vandal, breaking the money of ARF team as well, Mitch. You can't have much more impact than that, than just run in and get a 4K and break the attacking side's money to give yourselves double digits. KO knife, dig down middle. He is just going to walk straight through and punished by Force Tower. It's only a classic. He's handed them a Vandal. Out comes the drone to be able to secure that rifle. And Fancy don't have any control of middle. Clove Smoke's going to secure it here for ARF team. They've got the Hunter's Fury. Scar can get himself a Cosmic if he picks up that orb as well. He's got a fair few stars
Kus
to play with.
diganti sama si Nakia.
Winnable round here for the attack.
Sama si Nakia,
Oh,
Nakia.
that is even better.
Oh man, you'd be
Straight down middle.
just burning.
Tapi kan
right
Nakia
if
itu kan
Fancy loses this round.
udah pernah sama alter ego
Yeah.
ya.
They
Udah pernah
just
sama
put
AE.
themselves in the pole position to
Dia tinggal
potentially win.
adaptasi doang.
Oh, Foxy's through a main, but he's been spotted out by the cam there of Kylie. So, ARF team feeling like they want to go and re-clear that space. The Soviet's going to stick around here. Maybe Woody going to sell a bit of a one-man fake, which is going to keep both Cruz and Yes I Can interested. So it's just Foxy
Kayak
be able to try to hold this ace.
poin ke-12 nih harusnya untuk si ARF.
I think it
30
did actually
seconds
scan
left.
forced out, or maybe it didn't because Yes I Can staying foot. So a bit of a false sense of info, unfortunately for Fancy United. Knife doesn't hit anybody. And ARF team going to walk into this A site for free.
At the very least, getting that plan. Obviously, Nathan with the Vandal at the helm. He's going to start clearing, going to start jeering. Foxy also spotted, does get connected on too. I don't even know if there's any chance back into this round, is there? You know, there's maybe an opportunity. Yes, I can try his
Yoru
best to
bikin
go
gua deg-degan
big.
anjir.
But the gate crash is there if he wants to
Yo,
try and
Vandalnya
fight
ke
this, if he
Kailin.
wants to get into position. He's only low HP, 5. Actually swap the weapon over. Could potentially go for it. The blind side is there. To at least keep Cruz
Nice.
entertained and
Thrifty, bro.
5 alive. Like,
Let's go.
Are you kidding? All I can see, Mitch, again, you know, you look up to everyone.
Match point.
That cross, bottom mid, is from Nia. And it's just, sure, it's a game plan. Sure, it's a part of the strategy, whatever. But when it happens, you know, every damn round, it's just ridiculous.
It is, yeah, but I don't think that's on Nia necessarily. Like,
No.
Okay, to be fair, last game he was doing a little bit of charity work. I'm not going to lie, but
For
this
sure.
game, it's definitely the fact that like it's just the same rounds again and again for Fancy United. It's like, where's the depth, boys?
There's
You
none.
know,
It's
like,
just
all
insanity, right?
That's a cool setup, guys. This is a really cool setup and a great start to the round. Like, where's the A main control? Little cascade deep into A main, take that control early, rotate off. Where's the high tide down bottom side of B? Little cheeky setup there. It's like, bro, we can't just keep running the
Kecuali
same
Harbor ya.
round over and over again and not expect ARF team to adapt. And they're just finding these opening kills every single round.
Yeah, I think if we look back on the stats to, you know, equalize it, I think it's happened once out of 10 that he's actually got the opening pick and got that control. But then ARF have been able to adapt off the back of it too. So another opening frag, you know, one more round to take. They're in the pole position to close out this series 2-0.
Ke BEM ya kak.
Yeah,
Aduh.
Cosmic's there, Hunter's Fury,
Oh.
a lot of great tools to be able to close it out. Cruz gonna try to contest.
Bro.
TP lands behind Nia in towards Heaven side. Cruz on the off angle, catches them
Okay.
and smokes out. Paranoia through. Nia's getting some dirty work
Timing
done as
banget
well,
ya.
picking up Woody. Trying to hold them off for now. TP behind him, punished as
One
well.
enemy
Fancy
remaining.
United might not be done yet. All down to Kylie in a 1-on-3, and he's whiffed too many shots there. Twilight on the rotation through a critical multi-frag.
Enemies
Fancy
close.
after a slip up against the Eco have equalized
Timing
to
sih, timing,
double
timing.
digits, and are 2 away
Valorant
from
tuh
pushing
memang
us
tentang
into the
timing aja
second
sih.
overtime in a row here.
I just have to say it. You know, Nia not pushing down mid that round, being alive to sit in heaven and take the shot. They win the round. How simple.
Imagine being alive.
Yeah,
you know,
crazy.
Just being alive to shoot back at the other team. As a player,
Gua
as
sebenernya
sharp
butuh
as Nia,
line up si Yoru
what
sih.
we
Dia bisa
saw
TP
in
sampai
that
sana ya.
bloody Sheriff.
Dari mana
Oh.
dia?
The one
Taruh
on three
TP-nya.
with
Take me
HPL
back.
even. Oh
Penasaran.
boy. Inject that straight into my veins, bro. I don't need anything else.
Tuh.
Punished. Nia's gonna win an
Kena
open.
panis dia.
Half buys not started well here from our team. Yeah, Fancy. It's a bit more of a passive approach this time. They've thrown the same high tide, and yes, I can. There's another peek in middle. Things going well for Fancy United. Foxy's found one as well. This round's a little too easy.
It's going to go down to the wire again, isn't it? Full regulation, 24 rounds required.
Ente-ente.
And a simple team ace. All 5 alive. They've done absolutely everything right here. ARF team are obviously going to have the cash money to get back into this one. They've got a couple of
Mereka tadi
ultimates,
kok
but the exact
mereka
same
fight-nya di
could be
sini
said for
12-11.
Fancy. There is not really going to look
Ayolah,
like there's
bisa,
an
bisa.
Ultraman coming online to support that reckoning, but I don't know, man. There's a lot that's there for ARF, so it's going to come all down to the wire as per usual. It's what we were hoping
Yeah.
for in a series like tonight, right?
Yeah, round 24 here. Cosmic and the Hunter's Fury. Great retake. Great tools to be able to get onto the site here for ARF team. Big fight over A main for Fancy United. ARF team are taking B. It's going to be a free site for them. There's that high tide through middle. Fancy changing up the setup though. In comes the Cosmic. It's going to be a retake right off the rip. ARF team going to be able to get into this B site for free. Yes, I can. Just trying to gather some information. Drone dealt with rotation.
Enggak pas plan ya. Enggak pakai ultinya Astra. Habis itu mereka balik ke main.
Reckoning to try to get back in, but ARF team with the Hunter's Fury for their after plant and some stars to potentially be set up on the spike. Big wrap around from Kylie here in middle. Spotted out by Nia though.
Harusnya lawan.
Another opening pick for him.
I was going to say, they had so much time for this rotate. It was going to be so challenging, but now they've given that little extra pick. Nathan stuck. Fostow gets one, a second, and will they get more? No. It's the not dead yet. He's managing to pop that. Will he be able to find anything? No. Scar, 1 versus 3. Does have some utility, does have a star, but pushing into position. Can he find it in this fight? No. He's tapping. He's doing his best. A third. Oh, come on. No.
Astaga.
He manages to stick it. He gets it done. And Twilight lives up to his name. I'm Team Jacob right now. I hate that reference, but it's overtime, baby. And we go again.
I don't know, Mitch. The only thing Twilight related is the time that I can remember asking you to climb on my back, but that's probably not a safe broadcast story. Huge clutch attempt there for Scar. And
oh man,
look, you saw those bullets tracing around the head of the player, defusing inside of that smoke. You almost saw it come together for our team to win themselves the 2-0 here, but Fancy United are willing themselves forward, keeping themselves going here. What a bloody series we've got on our hands.
Itu tadi si Kylie harusnya di mid tuh dia fight aja udah, jangan kabur kayak gitu.
Little bit of mid control for them. High tide.
Tapi gak apa, ente. Bisa.
Cover cascade. There's the knife coming through to once again confirm that Nathan's playing in the middle of the map for ARF team. Fancy United, after a little bit of pressure around the map, some spamming in middle, some spamming over towards B. They're going to organize themselves for this A execute in the mid round. It's actually a pacing that they haven't really been hitting too often. Force out's going to refresh the one-way. Rotation coming back across from Woody. Dart not up yet, but in 8 seconds it will be, and that might actually be a pretty nice timing to find a spam kill here through the smokes.
Information gathered off the owl drone either. So just giving themselves some additional time. 50 seconds left on the clock. Fost out. Playing so well. Another bruise. Just try and buy some additional time, but he's taken down. Woody, have you got anything for us here, my friend? The dark cover will put him into an awkward position. Does tag up, does do some additional damage. But Woody's also getting taken low.
Right here.
This is the thing. Has to try and shoot out those bolts now. Try and find some sort of damage. Does actually spot the head of Foxy. Has to
Itu loh si
Spike planted.
Cruz dari Heaven lurking udah lah. Selesai. Kalah.
All backside except for Cruz who's flanking in through the vents. Fake out dealt with all of the kills going the way of Fancy United, putting themselves out in front. Scar stuck behind the high tide. Nothing for him to do in a 1-on-5. His 1-on-3 attempt was valiant, but this is a bit of a tall tale if you ask me. Fancy United, a beautiful attacking side round in this first overtime. Little bit of mid pressure, little bit of B pressure, and they hit A on a nice timing that they hadn't done in regulation. Catch out, forced out. They deal with the dart in from Heaven's side from Woody. Really, really nice cloud burst from Nia to be able
Tapi di sisi lain seru sih match ini.
And Fancy United
Ini
now
pertandingannya seru.
on the verge of securing
Cuman
a
gua-
third map in this series.
Aduh. Gak apa deh. Yang penting kita dihibur ya.
Just crazy, the shift, you know, in what we're seeing. It's like sometimes Fancy are absolutely all over the shop. The other times they're regimented and looking like they're just in complete control. And that's what we saw in a round like that, right? 5 alive, completely flawless. To be able to take that level of confidence into an overtime round, you know, and when you're looking down the barrel of a lost series 0-2 in the opening game of this stage, going into that lower bracket, having to deal with whoever comes through there and who's hungry to get through. So ARF team, they use their final timeout. There is a third map for them available, right, if they need it. That's where it's going to end up on Sunset, potentially. But still, there's a chance. If they win this one, they can go again.
Itu
See what they
coachnya.
can find. But
Iya sih, itu
now, Fancy,
gede banget ya
they
kameranya.
want to make this into that third map of Sunset.
Hey, they won it last time in, what was it? Yeah, the second
Terlalu
overtime
dekat.
half team, so
Here.
Yep.
let's see it.
Mereka bawa AP ya? Gak ada bawa AP dong.
Fancy United. I don't know. Have you seen this round before, Mitch? It's a little high tide,
have,
dark
yeah.
cover, KO knife. Jet walks up, catwalk. I think I've seen
Tuh,
that before.
itu Pak,
Our team
si komentator udah
gonna be
bilang.
given full control of this
Mereka
A
mainnya
side. They're
itu
gonna take it
Fancy
full free
ke mid.
to a 5-on-5 retake yet again. Plant going down for Woody in a pretty open position on the left side, actually. And it seems like our team wants to stay inside the site and try to fight together.
The main thing is that Nia is still alive up mid, so he's going to be able to get that rotation in. They've actually popped down the dark cover there inside main, so it's going to be an all-out brawl. They're really kind of getting ready for it here. Kylie, though, so ready for it. The paranoia was narrowly mistimed, and Nia now having to try and come in on that flank. He's going to be last alive. Crazy sort of shift of the tides, isn't it? You know, 5 alive.
Udah. Ini
for
udah menang lah dah.
previous round. Now potentially 5 alive for ARF team in this
Nice.
round. Nia has been caught, has been spotted, goes down. ARF. The timeout is exactly what they need, and they are able to open up with that
Switching
round.
sides.
They immediately read the
Overtime.
same old thrown out by Fancy, take A for free, and completely lock it down.
Yeah, and they just play so disruptively. Like
Udah
Kylie can't see
baca
anything
mainnya si
there.
siapa? Fancy.
Still able to just
Kalau mereka
look
defending,
across
pasti
their
mereka ke
placement
mid.
and awareness, spread
Mereka
multiple players through the
istilahnya
paranoia,
kosongin
maybe seeing an outline or
A-nya.
two. Then the cascade is not enough for Fancy to get back out heaven. And here we have, I don't even know what that is. I think old mate Tactipear is getting his soul sucked out of his body. That's what happens when you go to 4 overtimes in the first 2 maps.
Well, that's it. We told about it being a potential 6 mapper this evening. And now in that position, Cruz actually crossing. He's got to be so careful to watch those
Siapa?
lines. He does shift around into an awkward space. He's spotted. That's a
Lagi dong,
great
lagi.
spot onto Nia there. Now looking to try
Nice.
and get one back.
Ayo.
Taps away.
Kita end,
Star
kita end,
able to
kita end.
control the cross there. Yes, I can. Has to try and lift big again. This man has been doing so well.
Bantu dong, bantu,
The
bantu.
linchpin.
Jangan
Gets a second,
dong.
a third, there it is. The hero that they need, the hero that they deserve. It's enough to pop the reckoning, and Fostow just basically has to take this one. That spike is still yet to be planted now. Pilski, yes, I can, also the man to
Spike
do it.
planted.
So he is going to be able to get that
Kok
one.
dia nggak
locked
tahu ya
in.
ada 2 orang?
They can slot back into some reposition.
depan.
It's a hard retake into 2-on-2.
Yeah, darts there for Woody. He's creeping up over on Book's side here. Yes, I can.
Nice.
Down sooner
Kita
rather
punya
than
smoke.
he's not going to get
Kita
a
punya
chance to
smoke.
do it. Out comes the dart from Twilight. Woody trying to deal with that. Can't do it. Forced out on the defuse. It's perfect crosshair placement from Twilight to put Fancy out in front again.
Switching sides.
What can't Yes I Can and Twilight do? 30 and 17, 29 and 13.
60 kills between them, bro.
It's just ridiculous, right? The dynamic duo between these two is unmatched.
It's the Vietnamese last dance, bro. It's just like Jordan and Pippen fist bumping every round.
Mate.
Except with Ice
Gak ada
Coffee,
smoke
the
ya
other
kalau
hand,
kita.
they're sitting on some little
Si
stools.
Faustal gak ada smoke ya?
Yeah. Love a good second breakfast. 11sies. Narrowly missing that shot. Blinded up completely near. He's up in position. He's spotted. He's got the scan. This is the control that they were looking for.
Dapat 2
Gets
lagi
two.
dia.
Woody gets the trade out, but Foxy well played with utility and Fancy. That's enough for them to close it out. It is going to go the distance. It is going to go to map number 3.
Kita ke map
That
ketiga,
is
guys.
crazy to see what we've just witnessed.
Astaga.
The insanity that was that defensive side of
Itu
half
close
of
banget loh.
Fancy. The repeat behavior.
Sangat-sangat close.
Somehow it turns into a win. And our team have got to be
Ente-ente. Ya benar,
upset,
ente banget.
crushed, right? Licking their wounds a little bit after setting themselves up. We thought we had that. They thought they were going to close it. It was like, wasn't it 12-9 or something like that at some point? Just crazy.
Yeah, I think so. Hey, Fancy United, credit where credit's due. They were in for the long con. Who knew that they would run the same mid-default on defense every single round just to have an A trap in the second overtime and win the game when ARF tried to go A for the second time in a row. It's absolute genius. Yes, I can. Absolute Giga Chad, Galaxy Brain game from him. Twilight had a
Yakin nonton tim
fantastic
kocak.
one as well. Nia, I will have to give credit where credit's due, was you know, performing a little bit of charity donating opening kills earlier on in the game, looking a little bit silly going that deep down middle on that same mid default every single time. But I really think the difference maker was
Sayang
the
ya,
fact
sayang
that we
sebenarnya.
honestly started to find a lot of
Udah
pretty
ada beberapa
consistent,
momen mereka itu
success
punya
in the
momen untuk
opening parts of
menangin
these
game ini,
rounds,
untuk
the
kill
opening
game,
rounds.
untuk finish the
And
game.
he started to get on a little bit of a heater for Fancy United as well, and I think for the majority of the time it was that trio that really got Fancy United across the line here and are going to push us through to a third map.
Entahlah.
Look, quite honestly, this series deserves it. This has been an absolute banger of a cast so far.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed myself, right? You can just sort of see where it's all equaled up, right? 14 first kills either side. So the opening opportunities has definitely shifted up. So I don't know, like you definitely saw a little bit more there, as you sort of mentioned, right? You know, a bit of charity there from Nia, sort of giving a bit away, but some real big impact, right? You know, not being the top fragging Jet superstar, but still hitting those shots and getting the consistent picks when you sort of need them to. Twilight and Yes I Can already talked about them, but also, you know, seeing Foxy and the amount of work he got done on that KO was just absolutely crazy. So Woody absolutely tried his best, a little bit more even over across the board on the side of ARF, but yeah, unfortunately, you know, Fostow couldn't quite activate, and there was just so many rounds that were close, but not quite, just didn't connect the way they wanted it to. So in the end, yeah, it gets what we deserve, right? I think this map always sort of lined up this series. The second we got into the opening, it was just so close, so entertaining, and if it didn't go to this third map, it would have almost been a little bit disappointing despite entering into overtime for both. So with Sunset around the corner, mate, it's a map where we see, you know, either really close affairs or very kind of one-sided events. I just have no idea what to expect with Sunset.
Yeah, Yes I Can, MVP for a reason. That's the second map in a row. Man's dropped 300 ACS across overtime games. So, look, we'll see if he can do it 3 maps in a row heading through onto Sunset. And if we do get another overtime, probably not worth mentioning that, though. But casting my mind back to EMEA Ascension, I remember watching like 4 overtimes in that Mouse game, and that was a bit ridiculous. But look, I'm happy to relive it if you are, Mitch. I'm down for it the way that this series is looking, bro.
Mate, it's going to be a late night, so we may as well make it a good night. So guys, refresh those beverages, get some popcorn and some treats, because we're going to need some as well. We'll see you back in a sec.
For the beat down, you're gonna see now. We gonna get loud. We going all out. Dominate, dominate, dominate. Dominate, dominate, dominate. Dominate, dominate, dominate. Dominate, dominate, dominate.
5 menit lagi guys, 5 menit.
Dominate, dominate, dominate.
Aduh.
Dominate, dominate, dominate. You're ready to blow, you're looking for trouble. Dominate. Some of them no-goes, make it a double. Dominate. Don't take your reckless, your enemy's restless. Dominate. You don't wanna test this, we are relentless. Dominate. Some of them no-goes, make it a double. Dominate. Don't take your reckless, your enemy's restless. Dominate. You don't wanna test this, we are relentless. Dominate.
Kind of the popularized, I guess, by like the Sentinels who had that massive run. I think it was in Madrid. Kind of the popularized. Popularized, I guess, by like the Sentinels. Kind of the
Bentar ya guys. Masih 1 menit lagi, 1 menit 50 detik.
Kind of the popularized, I guess, by like the Sentinels who had that massive run. I think it was in Madrid where they were like winning a lot of Sunset games and they were getting a lot of info. To be able to go for the retake late. Kind of the comp.
Laced up, pushing through the line like an animal. Never will I ever settle down till I have it all. Pedal to the metal, get the crown, break it through the walls. Higher, reaching higher, rising up, and I never fall.
Like
Yeah, I'ma take it to the
Listen, Mitch, we're on for a long one tonight, and I'm absolutely all for it at this point in time. Whoever's got plans tomorrow, cancel them. Who cares? Don't show up to work. It's totally fine because the action
Arya,
is all
gua
here
sampai
right
edit video
now. Going
soalnya.
Challenges SEA. We're having a
Okay.
second and gold
So far.
Fancy United have taken us into overtime, into that second map, and walked away with it, bringing the scoreline 1-1. Sunset around the bend. Pilski, what are your thoughts heading into this one?
Yeah, I have thoughts, of which are still being formed. It looks like ARF team, they play a fair bit of Sunset. They're playing Alter Ego kind of close on it. They played Boom a little bit on it. They've won it in this, kind of the fire pretty cleanly against a team that actually ground their way. Yes, but like kind of the SCA comp. In Challenges SCA, the stage before this one. So that's a pretty promising result. Couple of dubs for Fancy United as well, playing over there in Challenges. Not even Challenges Vietnam, actually playing in the Predator League quals. So
Yeah.
a little bit more recent wins for them. They've taken a dub over Flash and one of the other Vietnamese teams as well. So those are some pretty promising results. I think it should be a pretty good third map decider between these two teams.
Exactly right. You know, ARF sort of hasn't played a ton in recent times, since sort of split 2 runs. So I think, Fancy maybe with a little bit more fresh legs, trying to lean into this new roster with these changes. So all I'm going to say is I don't care what happens into this next map. I don't care who wins or who loses as long as we get another heater because, 15-13 in the opening 2 maps of the evening, Pilski, is such a shift up to what we witnessed yesterday in that opening series, which was a little bit more one-sided towards Full Sense. And whilst we had a closer one into the second series, it's got nothing on what we're seeing right now. Zol kind of cracked open in the end and made sure they closed it strong. And this one is just head-to-head, bloodbath, and all fury. And as I said, I'm all here for it.
We're in for a bit of a treat, Mitch. Don't know if you've taken a little bit of a look at Fancy United's agent comp selection for this map. If they keep the same selection, but we're going to get a little bit of Vice, perhaps, mate. So
oh God,
that's going to be fun to watch. I don't mind it on the Sunset either. I've played against it a little bit in ranked, and you do obviously have the flash that you can deploy, which can be a pretty good tool on every part of the map, actually. You can get that A main control and info, little set plays around that, little bit of a flash play in towards B as well, or to clear middle. I think that's the main thing that makes Vice super strong on this map. Obviously, the wall is pretty strong across B main and elbow. But the flash in particular is a great tool to be using on Sunset. So let's get into Asian selection here. And indeed, Vice comes out for Yes I Can. You have the Astra as well, which is not really something that's too commonly run on this map. The rest of the comp looking pretty common for Fancy United. Over on the side of ARF team, that's about as standard as a comp gets. What I will say though is that Forstow's only more recently been playing the Neon. It was the Rays, the choice in Challengers Indonesia for the boys over on ARF team. And we've seen Forstow playing Jet, and then we've seen him playing the Clove. Now we're finally going to see him go, or at least try to go toe-to-toe with Nia on the Neon, who was pretty fantastic on Haven. Hit or miss, but yeah, had some incredible moments. That 1v3 was absolutely lights out.
Absolutely. All I can say is Komodo will be fuming.
One of the
Vice is an agent that he's been desperately looking to cast in a serious game like this, so we're going to get it.
One
We're
of
gonna
the
sit on top of it. And yeah, look, I'm really loving the fact of this game. You know, when we get the boring sort of old comps that have been tried and tested, it's when we see this new extra little bit of spice where they're really leaning in to the new opportunities. And, you know, for Fancy United, it's only really, when you think about that Breach and Sova, they've been out for a little bit. So everything else is fresh and new, and it's going to be that quick look into B main, and Cruz is going to get the hell straight out of there.
Yeah, deals with the cam,
ARF make 2 initiator, Sova, Breach, Smokernya Omen, Sentinel, Cyper, duelisnya oke Neon.
Does have all of that A main control and information. Our team taking middle in the meanwhile. Nia getting up inside the dark cover. There's a setup inside of market. They're both getting caught by the relay ball and the paranoia, but no one's gotten taken out. It's only Nathan to find a singular kill, and Twilight comes up huge inside market. This man's peddling all kinds of goods right now.
No wonder the ladies are obsessed with him. Living up to his namesake. 3v1 for Kylie. Twilight on for that 3k. How much can you clear? How much can you look for here? A little bit of extra damage onto Nia. Got to be careful that you don't overextend this, but that's great use of the shock bolt there. Awesome round from Twilight, who was a hero in the previous.
One step closer.
And again, taking a step forward for Fancy, opening up the bank account here on Sunset.
Yeah, I mean, dude, a 4K in that position. They've got hit with a relay bolt and the paranoia, but you have to say it's got to be that Nebula for Cruz that keeps them safe there, right? Like, they're getting collapsed upon by that market set play from ARF where all of that utility hits, but the Nebula in response from Cruz on the front side of market keeps all the boys nice and safe, and it's just not something that you're used to playing against, really. There's a shock going down the bottom side of A-Long there, usually used to clear the trip, but in this case actually zones the attackers back a little bit. The wall placed deep down A-Long with the vines behind it and the arc row is going to be quite hard to get up through A-Main.
Kena ding
A
kali.
little bit of a look into B-Main there as Kylie gets a little bit of a tap through.
She is out too. See you later.
Yeah, he's trying to bloody B-hop into A-Main there, trying to make something happen up behind his dark cover, but he also gets denied entry, so couple of doormen on either side of the map for Fancy United, not letting ARF team get too interested in anything too much, and kind of group up towards B and give this side a crack, maybe try to get themselves a plant.
Gonna have to deal with that extra one. Nebula now popped. Twilight getting that opener. Foster going straight down, and look at the damage. Man, oh man, he just drags the bloody ghost into the next round. I mean, it's pistols again, but the level of confidence that you need to continue forward doing stuff like this, Scar has got nothing he can do. And Nia's going to quickly take him down.
What was it, a 4K, then a 3K, and then he died?
He would.
I think that's 8, right? Have I done maths correctly?
I think you have. He should.
Oh, look at that. Into round 3. That is crazy. That is a crazy Hunter's Fury timing.
Oh, man.
Into the bonus, man. You almost never see that. He's got the Outlaw out as well. Very winnable round for Fancy United, quite honestly. Bulldogs out for Nia.
Come into the unknown.
Once again, seems like yes I can. Gonna set up the majority of that Vice utility over towards this A side of the map. Gonna try to secure control. Arc Rose goes in. Combination with the Star. I don't mind this comp from Fancy. Shotty comes out trying to clear the cam, and indeed Twilight does so. Foxy up top mid inside of that dark cover, joined by Nia. Once again, a lot of presence and emphasis there in middle for Fancy United. An ARF team going to slink away back in towards their spawn and try to get a bit of an A-main take. So let's see, how good is the Vice here at holding down A-main solo with the Arc Rose and all of the utils.
Solo A, Vice ya.
She is
Aduh, harusnya
and that kind of the team. But obviously Fost out is just looking to bait that right now. The Razorvine isn't going to connect on anything really, so it's a good
mantap
use
banget.
of that utility there.
Wow.
Able to find it with the flashpoint. Yes, I can goes for the swing and will get the ding.
Yeah, there's
Great
stun
opener.
as well. Yeah, Flashpoint. I mean, all of the util keeps them back. Flashpoint and stun. The vines go up again. Another Flashpoint just zoning the back. Aftershock. So much breach util. So oppressive and difficult to make your way through A main right now. Yes, I can is still on this aggressive line, just jiggling away. He's going to tuck
Reposition
himself back into
dari
elbow. That kind of
Hansi.
leaves
Oh, no.
Foxy
Satu,
high and
satu.
dry there. Stunning themselves, though, is not the way you want it to be getting through elbow. And yes, I can is punishing them at every twist and turn. Kylie, spike dropped in elbow. 12 seconds on the clock. It's not coming together. That's a nice kill onto Yes, I can.
No time, no time.
I don't think he's even got time for the spike. No, he's going to have to turn away and save. So,
Ente.
look, the Vice, was it impactful? Absolutely. Burned it about
Itu Vice-nya
20 seconds
bener-bener
off the
nge-hold.
clock and really
Main
slowed
waktu
ARF team
buat mereka masuk
going
tuh
down
bener-bener
through A
bagus sih.
main. But what was even better than that was the Breach and Astra utility to follow up once ARF team did try and make their way up A.
Had him completely trapped, right? Stuck in elbow, not able to even, not even
Lu
able to
lihat
get into elbow,
transparansi
right?
Jessica.
And then in the end, there was a little bit of a panic where they shot the relay bolt back onto themselves. So, ARF, yeah, again, charging themselves rent.
Yeah. Outlaw's still there for Twilight. He did pop the Hunter's Fury at some point. I don't even remember that happening, to be honest. So Kylie gonna bring the Vandal into the next round and see what he can get done with it. If he can get a pick, he can activate that Neural Theft once again. It's the same setup. Sheer, Vine, and Arc Rose. Gonna be hard to get up through A main. Rest of the boys from ARF team grouped up in towards B and just gonna force Cruise off the site for now.
Langsung aja si Faustau ke backside.
Trying to slip the wickets here, Fost out.
Aduh, jangan dong, jangan dong, jangan dong.
Cheeky little jewel, but popping the high gear should give the audio, and yeah, he's just
Dia nge-stun diri sendiri.
ripping his head off. And ARF, despite getting this spike planted, you know, they're not finding many opportunities. Hopefully, Kylie's able to find something. The Neural Theft is used, but Nia's already getting in towards that position. And look how far away Kylie is right now. Has to try and get back in the market. Woody has to buy time. Hits a great shot. but
Itu
there's
plan
Nia.
kali sih, berat.
Gonna be onto
Lu lihat,
Kylie.
pedes
Oh,
banget aimnya.
goodness, Grimbus
Si Neon
speed.
GG.
Nia with the 4K. He's so damn sharp.
Yeah, he's good on the Neon as well, whereas I was pointing it out before. Forced Out only swapped over to the Neon recently. Previously, they were playing Raids on this map and Gecko. Now they're playing Sova Neon, which is a bit more of a popular composition, especially with how solid the Neon has been in the current meta. But
I was thinking
Forced
back
Out,
to
he's not...
it was really only Boom that was playing the Rays mainly. Everyone else was pretty much playing Neon, right?
Maybe it's an Indo thing because
Kembali gini, guys.
A4C loves to spam
Padahal tadi
the
awal
Rays,
enak tuh
and
ARF mainnya.
Forced Out was not playing the Neon on this map either.
Game
so
ketiga,
maybe
map
Indo's
ketiga jadi
trying
begini.
operating the Neon in their local scene, but that is a story for another time. Up in towards elbow, the Neon fight goes the way of Nia. Catches a fault line, gonna keep himself alive with the fast lane. Forget about staying alive. Mad's going on the front foot. The rest of ARF team zoned back by the Vice utility once again. Sheer goes up, but
Kylie.
beautiful. Yeah, Kylie just going absolutely huge. Beautiful breach util to force Yes I Can out as well. And somehow ARF team have momentarily got a man advantage. Twilight's going to try to turn that
Surata,
back
guys.
around. What a 3K. Incredible spray down from him inside elbow. Ridiculous stuff from Fancy United. That round was just chaos right from start to finish. The fighting just never really stopped or settled.
Yeah,
You
Nia
could
with the
tell ARF
2K.
team-
I just
Oh, bro, they wanted to slow it down, but they just never got the
Harusnya
opportunity
ARF
to
udah
do so.
habis nih, udah.
hang on.
Menurut gua udah gak ada harapan sih.
Nia's 8-2. It's just hero momentum. Yes, I can also have the 3K in that single round too, so everyone's just getting a piece of the pie.
Oh boy. Well, out comes the overdrive. Forced Out gonna try to pick up the pace. The reactive
Lu lihat,
utility
masih
is
bisa
enough to
mati
keep
lu
it
tuh.
back, but punished once again by the Nebula. Tyler's found a pick in the meanwhile. Neural Theft gets popped again. He's got it up once again so quickly. Knighton's found a pick onto the B site, and ARF team gonna try to get that plant down.
Yes, I can though. Trying to be consistent here.
That's
pumping
stuck
down
tuh,
that utility. Foxy able to find another, so Fancy is still well and truly in this, and that's some of the weapons gone.
So far udah
Woody
stuck di set tuh.
only with the Sheriff. It should be a nice
Low
one.
lagi
The
dua-duanya.
Archros does get popped. They do gather some info off the back of it, knows that most members are stuck on the
GG
side.
lah.
Twilight will hit the shot, and so will Foxy. This is just brutality, decimation, murder on the dance floor. 6 rounds now for Fancy collected, and even when there's just show something, Kylie is literally trying to put the guys in, kicking and screaming, dragging them to the party that they want to stay home and play Valorant, but they're not being allowed.
Yeah. I mean, Kylie's doing his best.
Time out,
Credits
guys.
to tap time now for ARF team. Steel Gardens online here for Yes I Can. So, for ARF team, money definitely an issue for them, but this is something that you have to consider now that there's Steel Gardens there. They might have to spend a little bit of money on the sidearms. Sometimes you want to be buying yourself a Sheriff or buy yourself a Shorty, something like that, so that when the Steel Garden does come up, you have something to do. And it's much easier said than done when you have control of your economy and when you have a lot of cash, but when you're a little bit more strapped for cash like ARF team are, because they've just been going from buy to buy and unfortunately have ended up 0-6 in this game, they might not be able to afford a lot of those sidearms. So we'll see if that interaction does come on in here. For ARF team though, A-main's been a pretty big issue. It's felt like they've been able to get out on B a little bit easier. Shoving through market has had pretty mixed success, but especially out B main, they've been able to get themselves into a lot of after plants. See if that's something they want to go for again. In fact, this time they're going to go back towards this A site. And Fancy are reading this as a big set play. They recognize the success that ARF team has had over there, but ARF team, they're just going to take this fight head on. They don't want to be bullied by this Vice Util anymore. They're just going to send it straight up A, and that's going to end up being the right call here.
Yeah, just leaving that single Razorvine, which isn't going to do a whole lot. Obviously, if they've got the shear, which, you know, may do something, but surely Fostow's going to try and bait that out. At least it'll just buy a little bit of additional timing. At least Fostow goes in. Nia's trying to find that clutch. Does get the trip down. It's just so close. Like, all really Nia wants to try and do is just keep them entertained, keep them interested.
Bro.
But he's
Ulti dia
running out of
habis.
everything now.
Steel Garden is right there.
Ya sih kelamaan
It's
ya.
only now just going down. It's a 5-on-5 retake. Vine comes up. Drone goes in, spots out one of these players on the side. In comes
There it
the
is.
ultimate.
How long are they going to wait? Give it just enough time, and it should catch a whole bunch of players jamming up those weapons. Now as they look to try and fight on in. Yes, I can get one and another. Woody, though, able to deny. Now looking to swing on in. It's a 2 versus 2. Twilight and Foxy. Foxy looking real good. So much. Has to try keep kicking. Has to try keep working. And Foxy absolutely
First, tapi
will deny.
buat nge-delay itu mantep ya.
United 7 on the
Asli.
trot in a row, uncontested.
Dia buat nge-delay itu
A couple of rounds
mantap
have
banget.
gone down to 2 and 1 alive, but outside of that has just been Fancy all the way. There's a method to this madness, and we are seeing it right here now on Sunset.
Yeah, ARF team just took way too long to get into that A site and get themselves established in that post plant. And that's where Fancy United, they had the set play down middle overdrive with the Sova dart. You had Nia sent straight through the middle of the map, and then they just relied on their A site retake. And that's where a lot of these big ults are, you know, the Reckoning. There's all these AoE ults in Valorant that are great for the retake. And the Steel Garden, you know, it's just another one of them. Woody was left with nothing but a classic on the site, and credit where credit's due. Man's insane and still got one, but regardless, ARF team are still
Dia
down
saat A itu udah gak bisa disentuh lagi
Gonna try a bit
harusnya.
more of a contact approach, walking straight into Twilight.
Udah gak mungkin disentuh lagi sama si RF.
He's gonna reply with a dart.
Goes back in. If he
Tuh,
manages to slip the
masih
wicket, he
kena
gets a
loh.
shot there somehow. How? Thought he
Itu
might
kan
have been able to
basta.
find a little bit of additional time, but the fault line does catch him, so well done. Finally an advantage going the way of ARF team. There is the Rolling Thunder available though for Foxy.
Bisa gak ya?
They've had more success on this B site for sure, but King being kept back and disrupted by Util going to be hard to get
Timing.
back into the market here. Woody gets off the
Timing.
line though. That is a good entry here from Yes I Can to start to even up the
Dia udah
numbers.
flash satu
Yeah,
lagi.
absolutely another frag.
Habis lah udah. Udah habis.
And now the Rolling Thunder coming in. The Paranoia does catch. Timing does burn down a little bit more, but with that ultimate connecting, Yes I Can gets his second in the round.
Oh, kali,
All
bisa
for
kali.
Kylie. Again, how many times do we continue to have to say it, Pilski? I feel like I'm going insane at this point, but he hits the shot, and now he just needs one more. Yes I Can, gotta hold on. They do get the tag, and all he needs to do is
Nice.
just get off of it and try and find it, but it's Kylie. finally the team gets it done, and it's this hatted man who just continues to punch upwards despite getting kicked and pushed and thrown around. He wants to bring the team into the modern day here on Sunset.
Bro's just got his third neural theft of the game, I'm pretty sure, in like 8 rounds. That's how many multi-frags this guy's been hitting. Just ridiculous. I mean, talk about hats. That's 3 hats, isn't it? It's a bloody fantastically reviewed restaurant at this point. Like, finally, he's on some fine dining-ish right now. 13 and 6. 1-4 coming out here for ARF team. Again, they only seem to find success getting into the B side, so why mess with it if it's been working?
I'm out of here.
Off your feet!
Straight in.
Go, go,
Looking
go.
to shift up that pace that's sort of been lacking on them a little
Kenapa
bit.
dia,
Twilight, though,
aduh.
he's going to be defended again.
Nice lah, nice,
Fostow
nice.
can't quite do it, but Nathan, Kylie getting in again. Site secured. No spike plant, though, just yet. The Vice not too far away of Yes I Can. Cruz also in position to try and deny.
Stulik.
Kylie, though, this time spotted. He has been the linchpin, the impactful member. Yes I Can, though,
Nice,
denied.
nice, nice.
Nathan with a 3K.
Nathan.
All
Top.
changing up, all shifting around. And finally,
Yo, masih bisa, masih bisa.
Awakening will be the beast they've been hibernating for this last little bit, ARF team. But finally now looking to get out of their slumber, put their
Kayak fase ke
pants
B.
on and show up to work.
Feeling gua fase ke
They
B.
got a job to do, and they want
Atau
to
enggak
make
ya?
this victory happen.
Yeah, this
Enggak, dia
is
masih main A.
gonna take a little bit of a lift from the rest of the boys, though. That was a good round from Nathan. But Fostow in particular, man, you're playing the most broken agent in the current meta. We need to be putting some frags together, getting some dubs on the board here. Like I said, you know, he's only recently adopted the agent, and he's looking hyper uncomfortable on it.
Yeah.
Once again, Fancy United heavily set up inside of middle, just relying on the SI Can's Vice utility over towards A main. It's a slow defaulty round from ARF team. Just feeling things out. Drone comes through from Twilight. Woody ready with the reactive utility, thinking about an aftershock.
Gila, ngeri banget main ya.
The relay bolt does pick up Fostow, but still,
Last
it's
player
in the
standing.
favor of Fancy United. The rest of the kills coming through as well. Over on the A side of the map, missed the one in tiles. And Foxy's going to close it out. The mid-crunch is beautiful from Fancy United, 8 and 2. And I think that's another reset on ARF team's economy. here, man.
Fancy.
And it is, and it's just that
Fancy.
focus point where, right, you can never put the blame onto one individual. No chance at all, right? Woody's been quiet, so Scar. But Fostow, 0 and 10 on a Neon who needs to be at the forefront, needs to be entering
Baru
in
nyadar
and
lagi,
getting those
Neon
opening
ARF,
picks. You know, you
0
look at
kill
the
lah,
impact
Fostow.
on players like you saw John Olsen, you saw Danby getting all of that control, especially on a map like Sunset. And when your Neon is absent, it just makes it so damn hard. So despite getting 2 back into it here, Fancy 8 on
Bener,
the
bener.
board.
Ini kata-katanya ya, kata komentatornya. Neon, itu dia harus open space. Cari space, buka space. Kalau nggak bakal berat katanya.
Looks like, yeah.
Gonna spot them, and they're just walking into the crossfire that is Twilight and Cruz. These guys have been absolute lights
There
out,
we
holding
go.
B, finally getting involved, but yeah, it's just down to Scar in a 1-on-3 with the Sheriff. Nia buying time, sliding across once again. Here's the TP inside of the smoke. Relay ball's gonna connect, and they're just gonna run him down. 9 and 2 for Fancy, and look, diving into the stats right now for Fostow. All time, 45 games of Raze, 19 games of Jet, 3 games of Neon in
There you go.
officials, and then 1 in the last 90 days. So yeah, definitely not a agent he's super comfortable on, unfortunately. But if you're a duelist in current meta and you're not playing Neon, it's
Let's go.
yeah, not good.
That's the thing about the trials and tribulations and the shift of this game that is Valorant, right? They're going to shift up again. Fancy trying to get in aggressive.
Spike
Foxy
down,
will
B.
find that opening. Dark Rose is going to be popping though. Try and find a little bit of extra control, but it's Woody. Oh no, Fostow taken down, but Cruz, he's going to get spotted as well.
Risky
Woody
banget ya
out
mereka mau kontrol
No,
mid
it is going to be
jadi
Scar.
kalah
It is-
9-3.
And you know what I say about that 3-9
Kalian percaya gak ada
score?
9-3
We'll
cross?
find out shortly to see if they can bring it back.
9-3 cross itu Israel gak sih guys? Percaya gak? Gue sih percaya aja nih. Defending sih masih Masih ada hope lah ya. Masih ada hope, masih ada hope. Aduh.
Fancy United very much leading the charge here, Pilski, but again, the
Ini yang
curse
menang
scoreline
Pistoran sih
could be
menurut gua udah
upon us.
yang menang sih.
ARF got a little
Maksudnya
bit of resurgence
kalau
in the last few
Fancy
rounds, a lot
dapat
of work to
Pistoran
do
sih
if
udah
they wanna
selesai
try to
sih.
take this series.
ARF kalau dapat Pistoran masih ada harapan lah ya.
Had a great game plan on defense that ARF team did not have an
Bener-bener
answer for a
penentuan.
big fight and contest over middle. Woody hooks the flashpoint and they dive straight through the Nebula. The reactive util from Fancy United is way too good. They're so far ahead, punishing all of those players as soon as they step into middle and finding themselves a 3-man advantage in the pistol.
Poor Kylie's just sitting there again going, where's my team? They're all gone. No one's fault directly, right? You know, everyone's trying to... That was a team effort. There was a sort of idea behind that play. But again, you know, Fancy just read it like a book and they were able to find it. So this just seems like an impossible round for the retake. Fancy still looking 100% it though.
Not ready yet.
And they're going to get that spike planted shortly. Maybe we'll see a duel from Scar. But that's about it.
Yeah.
One enemy remains.
GG lah.
Nebula
Udah berat
instantly
sih
punished by
guys.
Cruz. And Kylie
Spike
Man's been
planted.
trying his absolute best this game.
Kayak ARF
Not
lemah
much
di map ini deh.
here other than farm up some multiple points and pad the stats a little more. Why not? He deserves it. He's been playing well.
Yeah, he's worked hard. Give him a little bit of extra dosh. Work into that next one. Arcro's popped, won't connect. Now they're just sort of looking. They're already running towards him as well. Nia's getting up close and personal, and that run and gun with the frenzy will be enough to drop him 4 alive. Fancy 3 rounds away from success, and again, from what we saw,
3 poin lagi bagi Fancy ya
double
untuk
overtime in maps 1 and 2.
secure game ini.
So Haven and Abyss certainly looking a little bit different to Sunset. I'll hold my questioning. We shouldn't see a response here. ARF doesn't look like they want to force into it. They'll just buy a couple of sheriffs and then they'll have that first gun round up against 311. But I don't know, man. Fancy, they've seemed to worked out the recipe this time. They've added enough salt.
I mean, if anyone's feeling a little salty, it's probably going to be ARF team the way that this game's going, to be fair.
Too much MSG.
Yeah. Twilight, though. He's got a little bit of a delicious prospect on his hands. Maybe not that interested, though. Drone just going to push half team away after a little bit of pressure outside A main here. Going to spot out at least 2 players. Little shocky to keep him interested. Cam here for Kylie. Spotting this B main line. Man's got a sheriff in hand. Star behind him.
Mika regroup ke B, harusnya ini mau hit B sih. Kalau saya permatiin dapat B nih Mika.
Nice little sheriff
Great
capture.
shot.
Things off.
Yeah. Really nicely done. Arcros goes out though, and Kylie's going to be punished for being there as a part of it all. Up nice and close. Couple of sheriffs still left, maybe some shots to be hit, but gonna be an upgrade for Twilight. He's up very close. Good shot from
Eagle
Titan.
3.
Didn't quite connect on the
Ya,
range.
drone 3 sekarang, tapi cuma pistol.
Making something work here. Okay, maybe there's a chance, Foxy. Yes, I can. They can hold on for a little bit longer. The Razorvine does make it a bit awkward for Foxy. He actually might go down to Woody here, but no. He's on for the 3K. Yes, I can to close the round. And
Gua udah
Fancy
cukup sih
with
nontonnya.
11-3.
Sakit sih nontonnya.
Final chance here for ARF team. Full buy about to come out. They've got to show us what they've got. If They want to drag it all the way back to another
Aduh,
map.
sayang
win.
banget, sayang banget.
Yeah,
Sayang banget.
they've never been this far down though. It's been a pretty back and forth series so far. So, look, given the benefit of the doubt, I'd love to see them win the bonus, maybe pick up a bit of momentum, pick a few gun rounds up, but
Okay. No
it's
shoot.
going to be very difficult to get back into the game at this
Right
point.
there.
Fight over A main from both teams. Our team positioned well. Flashpoint pushing Woody off the line inside elbow. Scar started off things beautifully. That's going to be the Neon hitting the deck, and they're choosing to aggress forward, but Cruz is making them pay for that. Luckily, Woody
Side drop.
safely cleaned up the rest of them on only 60 HP. If he went down, that could have gotten a little bit spicy for ARF team, but after clearing
Serangan
that
cepat
low
dari
kill,
ARF.
they're gonna win
Langsung
themselves
mereka
a
maju
pretty
dari-
cool anti-bonus
langsung
and
hit
keep
A main.
their guns up here and just keep trotting
Dapat
along.
semua.
And Woody
Mantap,
definitely
mantap.
went a little bit AWOL for a short while there, but he seems to have found his buzz. Hopefully trying to get back into this one, but you know, Fancy can kind of throw that one by the wayside. No ultimates on lock for ARF. And I'm thinking it looks to be quite a close set play here, Pilski. They are going to be looking to battle straight into this one. Quick pace from Fostow. Is he going to be able to take this control? They pulled the plug. They don't want to borrow this, Fancy.
No, they're just going to walk back towards middle. Trip up towards top mid here. It's a full retake B setup. Shifting in terms of the rotations now that Scar's got this info line over on elbow. Refreshing the one way. Fancy not budging an inch. Just posted up inside tiles, which indicates to me that they probably want to go and retake this A space. Drone goes forward. Any second now. Just to be able to push out Scar. Maybe Neo will look to follow up as well. Gravwell does catch him in combination with the fault line, but Neo vulnerable now. Can't
Nice,
do
nice.
things any further forward and
Ooh.
shouldn't have.
Kita dapat
Actually
elbow.
Gets hit by the end of Cruz Gravwell, and he
Yang main
gets
sih,
made
bahaya.
his lead or forced down now on the off
Nice.
angle, doing great
Satu
work
lagi.
on the
There we
Neon. That's a
go.
key multi-frag, Mitch.
Yeah, really sort of getting his wriggle on, finding that momentum
Kestannya
that's
dari-
been missing
dari
now,
Foxtel
leaving
tuh
just
emang
Cruz
agak
and
risky
Foxy
ya.
all on their lone
Dia
surf.
sering
Such an
mantul
awkward
ke
line
diri
to try and
sendiri.
fight there. Foxy does get one, but it's traded nicely. Now all onto Cruz, can drop the Nebula, but there is the dark cover. I think there was a little bit of a spot there,
30
but the
seconds
1v4 just feels impossible to win. Woody, though, straight
My
into the
ult's ready.
crosshair. That was a little bit of an overstep there, not really necessary. Our drone will come up, narrowly misses the shoulder, can destroy it now. But yeah, really, it's just about buying that time. 18 bullets in the chamber. They're playing the high-low here. They're playing the 100%. I mean, look, Spike's almost gettable, but 12
10
seconds,
seconds
there's
left.
just nothing that they can do. So
Saving.
it's just going to be a walk
Cruz
away
pun
from
harusnya saving
Cruz.
nih.
They can use this time to talk it out and see what's happening into the next round here. But again, you know, ARF, it's slow, it's sure, but there's something that's being put together. 5 rounds, 6 to go before they tie it up. Won't count them out. But again, it's just it's such a hard prospect. You have to be so mentally sound to continue forth in a round difference like this.
Yeah, just working it all the way through, one round at a time. Vandalama brought into this round courtesy of Cruz, one off the Rolling Thunder and Cosmic Online. Fancy United will take a timeout. Discuss what to do at this potential juncture. I think it's been a lot of fighting over A thus far and a little bit of B execute. Haven't really seen too much mid pressure for Fancy. So yeah, we'll see how they make this work. Like I said, the Vice, it's a little bit more obvious what to do with that on the defense, and there's so many great setups for it. On attack, I think, you know, the Arc Rose is something that you can use to clear map control. You can pop it into B main, and if you don't get the sound cue, you know that there's probably no one there. You can use it to re-clear mid, things like that. So I'm keen to see how Fancy starts to make that work for themselves, because, you know, they've got plenty of rounds to close this game, Mitch, and they can't just keep jamming A main for the rest of the game. Like, there's got to be other things that they've got prepped here.
Yeah, definitely. A team of their caliber needs to have plans, needs to have opportunities. And, you know, when you've got an agent composition like this, clearly the strat book has to run a little bit deeper than normal. So it's going to be that mid presence this time. They lean away from the A spot.
Optimis, optimis. Ya.
Plenty of rounds to close
Top
this
optimis.
out, but the more that they lose, the weaker the mental
Optimis,
becomes.
optimis.
And just with the pistols here, yeah.
Nebula
Bit of a
Arc
shift
Rose
up.
to clear mid. Nice and easy.
Deploying drone.
Nathan spotting out Neo. Gonna keep himself tucked comfortably inside market, hand in hand with Kylie Scar on this deep A main line. Neon on the breach, ready to rotate wherever they need to in the middle of the map right now. And Fancy not in a rush to be going anywhere. They're in a 1-3-1. Evaluating their options. A little bit of pressure on the B side of the map from Yes I Can. And Fancy now trying to once again catch Scar on this timing. But both the breach and the Neon are here to
Magkakaroon
lend
sa
him a little
ano
bit
yan?
of support if the pressure comes in.
Ba't ba nga pick si Scar?
Moving around that corner. Not quite the catch from the fault line. We'll get some information, but he's able to pop his
Nice.
way out now. Nia trying to get aggressive, but great shot. Scar has really been opened up in this map now so far, hitting some really, really good ones.
Good recall ah.
Now we just see a wild Fostow getting his second in
Nice,
the
nice.
round,
Lumayan ko
finally
ka ba?
leaning into this Neon. It's a 6th.
Hindi kita pelan-pelan dapat poin.
Pistol round, not too much.
Sabihin
to
bisa
think
5
about.
poin lagi sih, 5 round lagi.
Outside of that
Biar
big
seri.
presence there, Pilski, you know, it wasn't much different. It was still that lean back towards A and a little lackluster.
Yeah, it's Scar, credit where credit's due, has been playing positionally perfect on elbow, doing exactly what you want to be seeing from him, just securing that one-way info line and then, you know, absorbing all of that utility and getting out for free, even getting himself a couple of picks once the attackers scale up. Elbow forced out, starting to get a little bit more active. Arc Rose in middle once again. As Nia walks up, they're going to pop it, as well as a Nebula towards top middle. A main control once again taken by ARF team, and one way's been established, but this is where Fancy are going to change the pace. Nia forcing things up through spawn, going to try to make his way towards
Nice,
the
Kylie.
side, but Kylie's all over it here, Mitch.
Hindi ka masuk B
He
nito.
used to be the man, the hero that the side of our team needed. He will
Nice
get
threat.
taken down though by Yes I Can, traded out by Nathan. Now into position, Cruz trying to
Ayo.
connect with something. Nathan gets another though, so
Masih
it's
bisa,
again a
masih
quick
bisa,
one.
masih bisa.
And now this is where the gap starts to close. 4 rounds now, only the difference. I feel like a broken clock, but they all
Miskin
tick
lagi,
up
Megan, si Van
slowly.
City.
This one,
There.
it's only got a select few numbers on it, and yeah, Fancy's losing their own watch.
Yeah, off. Really solid defense so far after losing the pistol, anti-bonus, and all of the rounds since have been clean as hell. Overdrive's ready there. Fancy try to change things up, send Nia straight up the guts through the middle of the map, and it doesn't work at all. Now ARF team trying to defend this half by. Out comes the fast lane, straight in towards this elbow control yet again. Overdrive's there for Nia. But Fancy United are going to temper themselves a little bit more this time, Mitch. They're going to secure control of elbow, go back and try to keep the rotations honest by working mid a little bit. Nebula comes in towards top middle, drone clearing mid for Nathan. Where do
Happy with that
Fancy
control.
end here, though?
Yeah, elbow secured. A little bit of a different positioning from Scar.
One way on short.
Kubaya eh, ayan.
Fancy with this elbow
mereka kayak
control.
mau
Are
retake
gonna
ya,
end
jangan,
towards A, and once again, it's the
Gak
usual
ada mindset.
suspects. Mid cleared by the dart. It's going to make our team feel quite comfortable the fact that they've stacked up towards A here, and this is a nice off angle.
Gila, flashnya tinggi juga ya.
Really good flash to
Oh.
force him away though. Nebula also goes up. So just avoiding that one way, allowing themselves some safe passage in towards the site. They've got all of these ultimates, Mitch. Nia can try to open up the bank account, dropping down Woody, and now it's going to be the overdrive versus the overdrive. Who can connect? Who can get the fight?
Different,
As the
man.
Steel Garden comes out as well. Nia looking to keep kicking, looking to keep continuing as well. Does have another high gear to pop if he wants to use it. Now Kylie looking to get back onto that line. He's still kicking forward, but Kylie
Masih
gets
bisa,
the
masih
trade
bisa.
back 4 on
Gak ada
3.
weapon mereka nih.
Pistols only to try and secure this round. The dart will be destroyed, and now they look to get close. It's Nathan dropping
Nice.
Twilight. Now the rolling thunder starts to come out, and it catches absolutely everyone. Foxy connects with the
Sedap.
shot, still alive, but no HP. And it's Kylie and Scar to take the round through again. ARF get 8. I mean, look, it was
Walaupun
just the
agak mahal ya
distance from
sebenarnya, agak
Fancy,
mahal.
But they're 3
Soalnya
away
posisinya
now.
musuh Iko.
Yeah, I mean,
Si mereka
it was
udah
a
pakai
great
2 ulti.
attempt there by Fancy.
Agak mahal sih.
Got themselves onto the site. Things are starting to get interesting. That was a huge
Mahal,
pick from
mahal,
Nia.
mahal.
And look, even what was that again? A 5-on-3 for Fancy United that they couldn't
Yep.
close.
It
Really
was.
nice retake from ARF team all night long. Their retakes on defense have been phenomenal, Mitch.
I just feel like maybe Nia, you know, was calling the pull there, you know, looking like he was pretty keen to try and continue the fight, try to force them away, at least buy some additional time for the team. But by falling back, they got baited out a little bit, and it didn't quite work out for them. So Fostow really keen
No.
to try and get some early control
Tinggal pick
information
mati
here,
nih,
securing
si
that
siapa?
orb for now. But
Tahu.
Twilight will have a close watch onto it.
Yeah, And 1-3-1 from Fancy, working the middle of the map first. Arc Road's already been deployed. Yes, I can. Dropped off in a pretty deep and aggressive position that could let him activate in the mid-round. Fancy United, once again, you've got the drone and the Neon in position. The Sova and the Neon, rather. And out comes the drone to push Scar off of the line. Trying to keep that information game honest. But yeah, that's Yes, I Can. Up top middle, doesn't get caught by the fault line.
Nice.
Almost gets caught in transition. In fact, he will. And once again, Scar has won the duel onto Nia over on Elbow's side. The man just does not lose in this position. Look at how well he's playing this.
You can just see the mental boom that's happening right now, right?
Tapi untung si Sova loh,
hit
gak
those
apa-apa.
shots. Yes, I can.
Aduh, Kylie keculik lagi.
Caruso does get one back, so it's a 3-on-3. Now maybe doable. Nathan's in a fantastic position. 35 seconds left on the clock, but I think
Nice.
he doesn't quite connect with it. All right, it's okay. It's safe for now. Twilight trying to get back into
Woody,
the
Woody,
position.
timing,
He might find
tolong.
the timing. This could be massive if he does. Woody looks like he slipped away and now getting into this space. 20 seconds left. And it's going to be all on to Nathan to see what he can do.
Bahaya
He's
banget nih.
perfectly positioned. Cognizant of the fact that the flank may come in from spawn. 10 seconds. Will Foxy get caught on the cross? He's turned away to check spawn. Foxy, that is a timing and a half. Spike
Kenapa dia
going
lepas
down
ya sama
now.
si ini sama
Twilight
Woody?
has not been spotted by ARF team. They don't know he's so deep in spawn, and he's going to catch Woody on the off angle. Scar now in a 1-on-2. Untenable situation for him. Both flashpoints and an aftershock there from Foxy, and Twilight's just going to play the off angle.
Does have the paranoia, does have the shrouded steps in hand. If
Puterin
he needs
anjir
them,
ini.
but yeah, again, trying to find
Puterin,
the
diputerin.
middle of it, trying to find those 1v1s. Twilight just keeping him entertained. Taps onto the defuse, but he's not going to be looking. And that's Foxy. Finally, a hero that they needed. They needed someone to step up to the plate and bring the team forward. And it was Foxy all on his lonesome, finding that pick outside of B, finding the space additionally, and also Twilight to be able to slip that wicket and find a top mid control. Heroes individually.
Yeah, and just some bad timings going against ARF.
And then
There.
Teo bisa,
Should have been
bisa.
there around every day of the week, but
Masih winnable kok, santai aja.
fortunately, with such a slow start, all it's going to take is a slip up or two to lose this game of Sunset here. Once again, a main fight on the cards here. Nia sending it straight up in there, but doesn't like the way that util looks. The relay bolt and the fault line both catch him, but he's going to be able to get out. Disengage from a main, so that will be forfeited in the favor of ARF team for now. Arc Rose is in middle. Fancy are going to be able to re-clear that space. Out comes the drone. Spots out two. Aftershock trying to catch Twilight there in the backside. Nia missing onto Nathan.
There.
Who's found
Si
multiple picks
Neon
from
musuh si
market
Nia
side.
itu udah beberapa kali tuh.
Force down now.
Kalah
This
aim.
isn't a Cypher comp. He can push A if he wants to.
1v1
Fancy
ya.
are organizing themselves for the B push.
Kena terus dia.
Kylie's actually well, and that's the one way on the cyber cage, but Twilight, he's going to be able to find Woody in the process. Kylie, again, we're going to call for you. We're going to ask for you once more to step up to the plate and see what you can do, because Twilight, well, he's slipped the net. He's going towards this position, and they're for all the call, all the info. Is he going to hear the footsteps from Foster? Yes, he is. But Kylie, I talk about him again and again and again. He continues to do it. And
Nice,
now
nice,
the
nice.
paranoia of
Tuh mereka
yes,
selalu ngelepasin loh, selalu
and
kena
Scar will hold on for the team.
kena lurking.
12 to
Bahaya
9,
sih.
3 to go, and the economy once again dissipates for
Mereka harus belajar
Fancy.
dari yang tadi.
Yeah, honestly.
Pas mereka
this
kalah
game,
bagi banyak spot ke
it's really
Fancy.
like Kylie locking
Mereka
down
harus
B.
belajar coba
Scar is so
perhatiin lagi.
positionally
3
perfect
apa?
on the
Bisa
A
6, bisa
side of
6.
the
Masih
map.
bisa.
It
3
just
poin lagi.
really doesn't feel like Fancy can get anywhere, and then when they're
Optimis,
walking through the
optimis.
middle of the map, half the time Nathan's just peeking out market and finding picks. Like ARF, not really making too many mistakes. Unfortunately, they're still one away from losing the game, and this half buy could still get it done. Creep up in B main.
I must wait a
Not
moment.
spotted by Kylie. Cam gets cleared though, so knows that there's at least 1 or 2 players in towards B.
Cage triggered.
Can he do it again? It's going to be all onto this, but he's taken. That is a massive scalp here to be found from Nia. And now Nathan has to fall away, wait for the rest of his team. The Cosmic Divide goes down to try and hold it on here, Pilski. They all want to try and fight this fight. There is information gathered from the scan, and now it's that ultimate.
Gila,
Now
lu
it's
lihat
that
gak?
utility all going around.
Oh, sayang banget, gak dapet
Somehow kicking and screaming with
Min,
Woody.
Min.
Scar,
Nice.
Felstow, all doing it. Twilight has to be the hero. He has to be the king. And it will be the clutch, but can he find the timing? No, he's not. do you live there? How do you hold that? How do you have the mental capacity, Nathan, to stick that damn defuse? But he
Aneh banget orang
does
tadi.
it, and ARF keep kicking on.
What a util combo on the retake, Mitch.
Util combo kepake kan,
Rolling
mantap kali ya.
Thunder and the Hunter's Fury across the backside of the site in combination.
One enemy remaining.
Forced out diving back into the site, and
Si
Twilight.
Fasto nge-whiff
So
tadi.
many heroics in this game, including a right hook to the
Oh
face
my
of Nathan at the
God.
end.
Yo.
What
Dua
more
lagi,
can he
dua
do?
lagi.
I mean, yeah. ARF team are staying alive. Into round 23 though here, Mitch. Dart onto elbow, and he has secured that control once again. Fancy. They're just going to kick it off. They're going to head straight into the site. Twilight, he's got another Hunter's Fury off the back of that multi-frag. Catches absolutely nothing though. And ARF team once again going to trust their rock solid retakes to secure this round.
They're all here, man. This is going to be chaos. Carnage on the site. We're all for it. This game is absolutely that. It's living up to the expectations we demand. Spike
Sorry,
plants
cepet
it.
ya.
And now Twilight managing to slip the net. Cruz will drop down fast. Now Twilight. But it's Kylie
GG.
with one. Nia does manage to drop two, but Nathan in the clutch. He's got it by an overtake three.
GG.
Drops the drone, but that is going to be it. It is not going to be the comeback. It is not going to be the dream. Instead, it will be Vietnam on top. Awesome stuff in the end from Fancy United to keep the mental fortitude. I was sure for a second that just the way they were losing it,
Gimana ya
dropping
kena
it
comeback
all
gini?
on that side
Apa
of
yang perlu
attack.
dievaluasi?
It wasn't going to go their way. Their defense was absolutely locked in like a spreadsheet on a Monday morning.
Aiden.
But unfortunately for them, they
Kenapa,
can't make it
Aiden?
work
Let's
all
go
the way
forward.
through. And ARF team, they put up a really, really solid fight. But that
GG.
game had absolutely everything, Pilsky. Individual highlights, stuff that you never expect to see. And, you know, it's just exactly what this series, what this kind of competition deserves, right? Thank you so much to the Valorant gods for blessing us this evening.
Enemy remaining.
Yeah, you got to feel for ARF team. They put in the hard yards.
Sebenarnya next
there
ini
on
masih ada
defense,
game sih,
but
cuman
way
gua
too
udah
slow
skip sih,
start,
bukan tim Indo.
unfortunately, on attack.
Kayak nggak tertarik
Fancy
nonton
were
deh.
all over them. It was a 7 or 8-0 lead, I think, that they had, and then they win the second half. Pistol was 11-3 at one point. So the fact that ARF team
Inilah yang namanya
brings that
apa
down
guna
so
kita mencoba
closely
jika
is
ujung-ujungnya
very
juga nice try.
respectable. They were
Buat apa kita
definitely
coba?
capable of winning this
Ini
series
udah
against
dikit lagi comeback loh.
United today.
Dikit lagi comeback.
Fancy. Couple of roster changes, but at the end of the
Tapi
day,
sayang sih.
you've still got Yes I Can, you've still got Twilight, and you've still got some boys that can make some incredible plays for Fancy United, as well as, look, the new additions. I think Foxy really stepped up in that last match. He had a couple of key plays on the breach, and Nia had some crazy highlights as well. So Fancy United definitely a team
Kira-kira
to
siapa
keep
MVP-nya?
your eye on, but
Menurut
our
siapa?
team, credit where credit's due, despite being you know, the third place team in a couple of these splits in over there in the Indonesian scene, it just goes to show you like
First
even these
skill
third, fourth
dimenangkan
place
sama
teams
si
in some of
Fancy.
these Southeast Asian
Thrifty gak
countries
ada.
are very, very
Post
solid
plan.
and are not going to be the easiest
Fancy.
teams to put away.
Clutch ARF.
Just crazy, man. And
Lu lihat.
15 opening kills. Like,
Kalau
that's
dari
just
Fancy MVP-nya
absolutely
Twilight ya.
nuts.
Tadi bener sih dia agak tajam sih aim-nya.
And for them to
Beberapa
almost
multi-kill.
let that slip, right?
Kalau
You
dari
know, I
Kylie
think you
benar.
mentioned the amount of times ARF was able to
Dia
win
juga
out these
berhasil
3v5s,
dapat kill di
and
side.
yeah, it just wasn't the
Itu mantap
response
sih.
they needed. But thankfully, the
Cuman
9-3
neon
half
neon
did
kita
live
sih,
up
neon
to the
ARF ya.
curse, and you know,
Agak
Fancy had enough rounds and momentum in the
agak
back court
under.
that they didn't let the mental boom
Tapi nggak
kick
apa.
in, and yeah, they closed out this series.
Ini
So
kan masih
our
ada
expectations live
ke
up to the
lower
way
bracket
the
ya.
Vietnamese side. Again, our predictions
Lawannya
are
nanti
safe
baru tahu.
for this point in time. But yeah, look, the king there was absolutely
Twilight
Twilight,
MVP-nya
man,
ya.
on that
Tuh,
Sova.
deserve.
Certainly
Gua
not
setuju
in the
sih
twilight
Twilight.
of his to go on the rise, it would seem. You know, the individual impact that this man had was nothing next to amazing. So well done from him. Really, really good moments.
Well
Because
done,
if
well
it
done.
wasn't for his performance, especially in that opening half, had that coffer to you know, allow a little bit of a gap to be closed by our team. So well done from Fancy to close this.
For sure. I think
Okay.
ARF team, though, definitely not going to be a team that's overlooked in that lower bracket. I'm keen
Thank
to
you,
see if
thank
they
you,
can
guys.
grind it all
Gua
the way
mungkin
back,
off dulu.
similar to what we saw from Overdogs yesterday.
Thank you udah nonton, jangan lupa di subscribe.
I would
Ntar
say
gue live
you-
lagi
you
kalau
have more to look
kalau
out for
ada,
ARF team, unless they've been
tim
grinding
Indo
in
yang
the
main.
challenger scene, and you definitely see that come to fruition in a series like this. Definitely winnable
Thank
situation for
you.
them,
Bye bye.
but falling at the final.